Guys, today modern AI is quite advanced, except two problems. It is censored and it takes your information. Well, it's hard to find a tech company that don't, but let me introduce you to one. Shout out to my sponsor, Vance AI, which allows you to protect your information and avoid censorship. Now ask yourself, why should a team of programmers at these leading AI apps be the ones to decide what is okay for you to ask and think? Also, would you be comfortable if the presidential administration could govern what AI tells you? Man, I know I wouldn't. But also, while you think about that, did you know that? Let me tell you this, it's gonna be crazy, but ChatGPT has a former director of the NSA sitting on their board right now, guys. And shout out to that man, Edward Snowden. He called this a willful, calculated betrayal of the rights of every person on Earth. And we all know how Alexa is. Alexa listens to us and recommends products based on our conversations. I mean, talk about a violation of privacy. But guys, these are just a few reasons I decided to team up with Vance AI and get you a better options or solutions to your AI needs. Now, guys, you can go ahead and check these guys out with my promo code. So shout out to Vance AI. Now, if you want to use AI without fear of handing over your most intimate thoughts to a corporation or government, you can get 20% off a pro plan using my link, Vance AI S.E.T, and use the code S.E.T. Man, so shout out, guys. So make sure you guys use the code. Put it one more time for you guys right there. Once again, guys, if you guys want to go ahead and have unleashed AI, uncensored AI, go ahead and tap in with my guys at Vance AI, guys. Hey, this is S.E.T and appreciate the support. And shout out to the sponsor. Yo, and we are live. Yo, this is S.E.T with S.E.T Media, guys, and I'm back with another one for you. All right, now we're going to get into this J.D. Vance interview, and then we're going to do a media analysis because the liberals are upset over Jimmy Kimmel getting, well, not his show canceled, but paused. And of course, there's going to be more. There's, I believe, more details of more details of the shooter that came out, and of course, we're also going to be getting into that. Well, let's see the Congress. Well, Cash Patel's Congress testimony. We'll get into that as well. Sorry, there. I had to go ahead and read everything off last second.
Since Charlie Kirk was gruesomely assassinated, the nation still mourning. His family, his friends, his fans. Primetime had the privilege of sitting down with one of Charlie's closest friends, the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance. It's his first interview since the assassination, and J.D. says he owes his job to Charlie. We flew out to Howell, Michigan, where the Vice President toured a metal manufacturing company with a group of Turning Point students. J.D., emotional, took us back to the moment when the White House found out Charlie was dead. Mr. Vice President, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, it's good to see you.
Where were you when you heard Charlie was shot?
So I was in my office in the West Wing. The Vice President actually has a couple of offices. There's the Executive Office Building office and the West Wing office. I was in the West Wing, and I just finished a meeting with somebody. I'm not even sure who. And I looked at my phone, and there were a bunch of group chats, frankly, a lot of them that Charlie was in, where they said, Charlie, praying for your brother, hope you're doing okay. And then I opened up my door and somebody said, Charlie's been shot. And it kind of hit me like, oh my God, this is very real. This is very serious. And, you know, what happened over the next hour or so, I'm guessing is, you know, we knew Charlie, it's called your body guy, your special assistant, the person who's always with you. And I had a very dear friend in the West Wing who knew Charlie's body guy. And so his name's Mikey, and he called Mike and said, hey, like, what's going on? And what was really, I mean, obviously, you know, the news was discombobulated. No one knew what was actually happening. It was a very chaotic moment, but there was a brief period where we were getting good reports from the hospital. And I don't know if how plugged in you were to that.
I heard those.
And
too.
so, I saw the initial video. I've only seen it that one time. I refuse to watch it again. I don't want to see that happen to my friend ever again. But I initially thought terrible, terrible news.
Yeah,
and then I started to feel kind of hopeful. And then, of course, we got the news from Mike that Charlie had passed probably about an hour before the rest of the world found out. And I was the person who walked into the Oval Office and said, Mr. President, I'm sorry, but Charlie passed. And that was a very, very tough moment, because Susie Wiles, the White House chief of staff, was in tears, and she doesn't show emotion. She is even keel the whole way, and she was in tears, and I just gave Susie a hug. And I think all of us kind of lost it. And it felt like, we were all mourning our friend before any of the politics or the thought about, what a titan he was and how influential he was to the movement. How do we possibly replace him? We were all just sad because our friend had died. And we supported each other in that moment, as you do with your friends. But man, it was a bad, bad day.
When you told the president Charlie was dead, how did he take it?
The president is very stoic, but he was clearly upset. He just kind of went quiet and let it absorb a little bit, and then just shook his head and said, man, he was a good guy, and we really loved him. And that's exactly right. That was a good thing to say. And we all just kind of had that same realization that he was a good friend, that he really loved what we were trying to do. He was a great supporter of ours. And it was a great honor to have.
And it's kind of crazy how everybody was expecting, some people expected Trump to just be like a crying mess about Charlie Kirk, which, I mean, I guess, but it's kind of crazy how Jimmy Kimmel kind of made fun of how Trump wasn't a crying mess. He said, oh, he looked like a guy who lost his goldfish. I was like, bro, I mean, why even say that?
Have him both as a friend and as a supporter. And frankly, I mean, Jesse, I would not be the vice president of the United States were it not for Charlie Kirk. Aside from Donald Trump, I can't think of a single person who deserves more credit, who advocated more for me, both in my Senate primary back in 2021, who advocated more for me to be the nominee as vice president, who advocated more for us to get in there, not just advocacy, but effective action and organization. I wouldn't be the vice president. I wouldn't have this job without Charlie Kirk, and I'll never forget it.
Do you believe that people out in the country should watch the video? I know it's very hard to stomach.
Yeah.
Is it important for people to process it?
Look, I go back and forth on it. I mean, look, it's my friend, and it's incredibly gruesome. And what I think is maybe it's useful for everybody to see at one time, because then you see what they did to Charlie Kirk. But I don't want anybody to remember Charlie Kirk in that 5 seconds at the end of his life. I want them to remember Charlie Kirk. I
mean, look, if you watch that video, the only thing you're going to confirm is why they said he was dead before the announcement. I mean, that's the only thing you're going to see. It's very sad.
The skilled debater. I want him to remember those videos, those incredible videos of him and his wife and his babies, and how much he loved Erica and how much he loved those kids. I want him to remember Charlie for that. I want him to remember Charlie for the guy for when it was these kids behind me. Now, I hate to call you guys kids, but you are, who would, a progressive would step up to the microphone at a Turning Points USA event, and some of the audience would jeer and cheer, and Charlie would say, no, let him speak, because he so desperately believed in this idea that we should be talking with and debating one another. So maybe see the video to understand what the far left did to Charlie Kirk. Absolutely. But that should be one fraction of 1% of your memory of Charlie Kirk. 99.9% of it should be a titan of the conservative movement, a beloved friend, and a dear husband and father.
You brought the casket on Air Force Two back to Erica, his wife, to Arizona. What was that like, delivering that to her?
Oh, man, I'm going to try to keep it together here. It was a great honor. As sad and as heartbreaking and as difficult as it was emotionally, I just kept on thinking, what an incredible thing it is to be able to take my friend back to Phoenix, to be able to take his wife and his family, to be able to provide some just basic support and friendship in their moment of grief. What an honor to be invited into Erica's, inner circle in that moment of terrible grief. And it was tough, though, man. I mean, I've still, and I think that this is a pretty common thing when you're grieving somebody you love. I had this moment a couple of days ago where I whip out my phone, I type in Charlie Kirk on Signal. I get halfway through a text message before I realize he's not here anymore, and nobody's going to receive this message. And that thing was so much more true in the 20 hours after he had died. And you could see that. I mean, I don't want to reveal too much about the conversation we had with Charlie and his family, but we were all kind of going through these hills and valleys together of, oh my God, I can't believe he's gone. But then just telling stories and laughing and hugging. And it was an amazing experience, but it was very sad. And it just gave me this sense of resolve that they put Charlie in this box. They put him in this box for doing the most American thing possible, which is debating and talking to people, even the people, maybe especially the people with whom you disagree. And we cannot let this incredible legacy get extinguished by an assassin. A couple of the people that traveled with us, it was Charlie's family, and it was his wife and his parents and his sister, all incredibly kind.
And I do believe we do have to keep up Charlie's work. So we do have to go out in front of these people who may not want to hear from us. But hey, if they hear from us, they have to debate us. If they run away, then, well, we know what it is. And here's the problem with that now. The problem with doing things like Kirk is now everybody's going to have some type of, well, extra layer of security, maybe like these little blast shields that they have in front of the president. Like, it's going to be wild. That's wild to think about. You need like presidential type security to just talk in front of college kids. Like, it's crazy.
People, but there were also a couple of Charlie's dear friends, people who are involved in TPUSA. And you know what? Every single person, both in Turning Points, but also Erica, said is, we cannot let this die with Charlie. That was her main wish. And of course, I've talked to her since then. I'll see her on Sunday at the funeral in Arizona. She really wants this incredible, not just mission and organization, but really a movement that Charlie Kirk built to keep on going long after he's gone. I think that's the best way that we can honor him, is to honor her wishes and to keep Charlie's memory alive.
He touched so many people, especially young people.
Yes.
And as a strong Christian, will that be part of his legacy, bringing people closer to God?
I think it has to be part of his legacy. I mean, how many people did I talk to in the last week who said, yeah, I'm a Christian, but I haven't been to church in 3 years, 3 months. I went to church this Sunday to pray for Charlie. Or how many people did I speak to who said, you know, I was kind of an agnostic, an atheist, but I'm kind of interested in this God thing because this guy really believed that he gave his life for it. If we are true to Charlie's memory, the number one thing that people will remember about Charlie Kirk is that he was a great advocate for the Christian faith. He was thoughtful. I mean, I remember talking to Charlie even in the last month before he died about Catholicism. And
I mean, he had people going Christian and conservative. He not just got you all politically like voting conservative, but he also had you going to church more at the same time.
Protestantism.
Now, I ain't the biggest Christian in the world, but I will give it to Charlie Kirk. He definitely spread the message of God. I mean, shoot, better than most pastors.
And all of these different minutiae of the Christian faith, because I said this, he loved God, and because he loved God, he wanted to understand God. And so he was constantly thinking about it. But more importantly than that, he was constantly going out and talking about it. Like, you look at these Turning Points USA events, and you look at the interactions he was having with people, and people would say, why are you a Christian? And he would say, well, because I'm a sinner and Jesus saved me. Jesus saved my life. He wanted to be a true evangelist in the truest sense of the word, in the way that St. Paul was an evangelist. And I think that has to be part of his legacy. And I've seen just in my own inner circle, people come back to the church purely because Charlie's death caused something inside them to stir. I would love to see that happen all over our country, and I think it is.
That's why it feels like it's a spiritual attack.
Yes.
That evil showed its face. Do you believe that evil is out there and we have to confront it?
You know, I've always believed that history makes a lot more sense when you both believe in God and follow God, but accept that the devil is real. And I think that evil is very much a real thing. It has a will. It has it has an evil and very negative purpose, but it also clearly has people who are trying to accomplish that purpose. I think in the spiritual realm, but also in the realm that we live in every single day too. So yes, I believe that one of the takeaways of Charlie's death and of Charlie's life is that speaking the truth. What is the devil? What is evil if not the opposite of truth and the opposite of life? They tried to extinguish Charlie's truth and extinguish Charlie's life. We cannot let them. And that is one of the great, if you look at the 2,000 years of the Christian faith, one of the great lessons is that each of us have our role to play.
And trust me, they didn't extinguish Charlie's message. They're not going to stop nobody from, debating or anything like that. They're just going to make us be more safe about it. If anything, that's all they have accomplished is, well, I guess we got to be a little bit more safe. Like I said, who'd have knew you need, presidential level security just to talk to college students or to talk to a group of people. And you're not the president. And you're not a political figure. Crazy. But shout out to Daniel Castro. He says the cost of freedom is personal sacrifice. I mean, ain't that the truth? And shout out to my man Castro for starting us off on a beautiful message, by the way.
Each of us have a particular part of the race to run. We each have something that we have to do, and then God calls us home, and it's on to the next man. We are all the next man in that great journey for as long as God gives us the ability to be that next man.
People are celebrating Charlie's killing.
It's disgusting.
They're saying he deserved to die. How do you wrap your head around that?
Well, one way you wrap your head around it is disgusting evil. What kind of person looks at a grief?
Oh, God, let's remember to double tap that screen and like the video. Let's get more people in the conversation by double tapping that screen.
Being young mother at two beautiful young kids and feels a certain sense of celebration. And I actually think, I don't know if it's a couple people, I don't know if it's thousands of people, but I would ask you, if you were the kind of person who feels joy at the death of a grieving mother and grieving children, what bad decisions have led you to where you are today? And why don't you get back on the right path? I really believe that there are people who recognize that the joy that they're feeling.
I mean, honestly, what Charlie Kirk's death exposed to me is how soft a lot of people are. A lot of people did not like this man because they disagreed with him. They're low-key trying to, try to create excuses of why he got shot and all that good stuff. All just because they disagreed with the man. I was like, you guys are soft as hell. If you guys are trying to justify this, the man never hurt you. He never smoked ill will about your family or nothing. Like nothing. Just because you disagreed with them, you want to try to make an excuse for his death or try to make it sound like it's acceptable in any way, shape, or form.
Celebration they're feeling at Charlie's death is evidence of evil within them, and they have to extinguish that evil. I think that. And I've even seen some social media posts where people have said, I was feeling kind of good about this guy dying, and now I realized that meant there was something wrong in me. That's another way I think that God is speaking to people through Charlie's death, is these incredibly evil people celebrating it. We're seeing it. We're seeing that evil in the public eye for all to see. But I also think people are turning away from that evil because they recognize that it is so opposite of everything good and true and righteous in the world.
If these evil people don't repent and continue to revel in the murder, what should be the consequence?
Well, look, I think the consequence should be, by the way, justice exists for both the people who repent and ask forgiveness. Justice also exists for...
No, I mean, let's be honest. What they're doing now is perfect. Let them go and expose themselves and their hateful rhetoric, and then let them lose their job. There you go. And that's it.
People who don't repent and don't ask for forgiveness. I really do hope that the person who murdered Charlie Kirk eventually accepts that what he did was evil and terrible, but we still got to have justice anyway. And I think for the people who are celebrating Charlie Kirk, look, we have a First Amendment in this country. The First Amendment protects a lot of very ugly speech. But if you celebrate Charlie Kirk's death, you should not be protected from being fired for being a disgusting person. If you're a university professor who benefits from American tax dollars, you should not be celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. And if you are, maybe you should lose your job, or your university should face a loss of funding. If you are the kind of person who thinks that Charlie Kirk was justifiably murdered, sometimes the government can't do anything about that. But you know what can is civil society. And I've actually been gratified to see all these people standing up and saying, yes, we have free speech, and yes, we have free debate.
And here's the problem. I have no problem with anybody disagreeing with Charlie Kirk. But when you guys want to sit there and, let's be real. One, you don't even know his real arguments. Or it's two, sit there and champion his death. That's something we can hear. Like I said, if you have your disagreements with him and you want to talk about some stuff that if you want to talk about a 30-second clip that you heard thinking that you know his whole argument, we can go ahead and discuss all that. But you trying to champion his death, yeah, we're not hearing that, buddy.
If you're celebrating the death of a young father, you ought to pay some consequences for it. And the American people are rising up against that evil. It's a great thing to see.
So the Democrats and the media are preaching unity. They're saying there's an equal amount of violence on both sides, and we need to all just lower the temperature and come together. You say?
It's statistically absolutely bonkers. The idea that left-wing violence and right-wing violence in 2025 in America are equal, it's preposterous. The statistics don't bear it out, Jesse. you ask what percentage of political liberals believe that political violence is sometimes justified? It's about 1 in 4. If you ask young conservatives that same question, it's about 1 in 25, which, by the way, is still too high.
Right.
It should be 0, but the problem is much bigger and much more malignant on the far left. You know, I saw something, maybe it was the ADL or one of these ridiculous organizations that said that right-wing violence is as common as left-wing violence. And then you go and look at the data and you say, what is it that you're causing right-wing violence? One of the things that they called right-wing violence is literally a gang of Black Americans beating up on a Mexican guy. Well, yeah, if you categorize everything under the sun as right-wing violence, you can make your point for you, but that's BS. Nobody's buying it. Look at the way they're selling.
Honestly, due to new polls, these polls that we're about to get into, it has been confirmed that the left is the party of political violence. I mean, they're the ones who have a higher number of people who think it's okay to commit violence against people they disagree with. I mean, but they're the party of tolerance, right?
Celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder. Look at the way that this assassin was radicalized by left-wing and probably trans-related stuff. Look at the way that even if you're not committing an act of violence, you are supporting those who do. You see that so much more on the far left. And I wish my friends who are on the left would just look themselves in the mirror and accept that they have a problem. Yes, absolutely. By all means, let's take down the temperature. But if you want to take down the temperature and you're on the left of center, the first and most important thing you can do is look in the mirror.
The media is now saying the assassin may have been MAGA.
That's hilarious, bro. When they said MAGA, I was like, yeah, you guys sound crazy, especially when the whole, he's living with he had a transgender partner. After you guys heard that, I thought you guys were going to be quiet. The fact that you were still trying to push that he's MAGA or a conservative just because he grew up in a conservative household was hilarious. Honestly, it was just like, okay, you guys are deranged about this. But sadly, and I mean, honestly, it's predictable. But yes, the person who shot Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson, was a radical leftist who had a transgender partner. I mean, that sounds pretty left to me. I'm sorry, but no, I don't really know too many conservatives that's with the whole transgender partner stuff. Gay, okay, sure, we got some MAGA guys that are gay, but dating transgender, I mean, that's y'all. That's you guys right there. You guys were the one defending him in women's sports, so that's all you.
Well, they would lie because they can't do that simple, basic thing of looking themselves in the mirror. They can't admit that their radicalism and their craziness helped to cause this problem. Look, this is not in dispute. You talk to the shooter's mother, you talk to the shooter's father, you talk to the local district attorney, you talk to the FBI director or the deputy director of the FBI. You look at every ounce of evidence that we have, and it is clear. This is a person who grew up in a pretty normal family, actually had a pretty good home life, who was radicalized by the far left, by the social networks of the far left, by the ideas of the far left, and got so far down the path of radicalization that he killed my friend. That is not a both sides problem. My friend is dead because of left-wing political radicalization. And if you want to cut that out, then be honest about it and look yourself in the mirror. Excuse me. I know I shouldn't cuss on Fox News.
That's okay. Click here to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's be real though. I mean, they do got to cut the shit. Like, yo, just cut the rhetoric out that you guys don't even fully believe in. I mean, y'all calling Donald Trump a fascist, but you don't really believe he's a fascist. But guess what? Your viewers do. When you tell it to them every goddamn day, yeah, they start to believe it, even though you don't. I mean, they're stepping harder than you guys are, or they're putting more forth than you guys are. The people who are saying it, the political pundits, aren't the ones taking the actions. It's the people who are hearing it, which is the sad reality of the matter. You'd almost wish these guys would take things into their own hands instead of the people who are listening to it. But all right, guys, let's get into this disturbing poll that came out today.
This is about punishing them being the left, them being his political opponents. That actually, I think, is surprising to a lot of Americans because that's not typically what you would expect to hear from the White House after.
Well, let's talk about some polling that he used to justify those comments before he made them on TV. YouGov came out with a poll 3 days ago talking about how each side feels about violence and support of political deaths. Liberals, 16% believe it's okay to feel joy when your political opponent is killed. Liberals.
That's crazy. let's go back on that. Let's take it all the way back so everybody understands this in full context. For those who are just tuning in,
that the right is wanting to get people on the left to get canceled. And he brought some receipts. Go ahead, Rob.
This is about punishing them being the left, them being his political opponents. That actually, I think, is surprising to a lot of Americans because that's not typically what you would expect to hear from the White House after.
Well, let's talk about some polling that he used to justify those comments before he made them on TV. YouGov came out with a poll 3 days ago talking about how each side feels about violence and support of political deaths. Liberals, 16%, believe it's okay to feel joy when your political opponent is killed. Liberals, very liberals, 24%. Conservatives, 4%. Very conservatives, 3%. Justifying violence.
Yeah.
Very liberal people have 25% answered yes, it's okay. You justified that it should do violence against your political opponents. Liberals, 17%. Conservatives, 8%. And very conservatives, 3%. That means it is 6 to 1 times more likely in response to this poll on the left. Now, I'm not saying there's exclusivity on the left. I'm not saying that. But there is certainly a problem where 6 times the amount of Republicans believe that it's okay to feel joy when your political opponent is killed, murdered, whatever, attacked, and that 6 to 1 believe that they are okay in justifying violence against political opponents. That's a problem.
And that's a crazy problem. Like, did you hear what he said? Like, apparently, when you go too far left, you start thinking that political violence is acceptable. But the more you go right, the more conservative you get, the more you see it as unacceptable. So on the left, I mean, what's going on with you guys? I mean, you heard the facts. I mean, this is coming on CNN, not Fox. I was going to play it on Fox, but I wanted you guys to hear it from CNN. I think it hits harder.
That's a cancer within the movement.
Okay, so that's that. Now let's go to the study that he's quoting. So if you want to go to the study that we have, if you can go all the way to the top so people can see, the other way around so people can see where it's at. It's YouGov, okay, that's doing the study. What Americans really think about political violence. So let's go through a couple of the polls, Rob, and then Eric, I'm going to come to you. Go a little bit lower, go a little bit lower, lower.
But all right, no. Well, dang. We're going to go ahead and, you can actually look this study up, YouGov. Actually, I'm going to see if I can go ahead and pull it up myself. In the meantime, though, let's go ahead and see what Fox News have to say about this. Because like I said, it was pretty surprising information. Like, study reveals shocking findings about political violence. I mean, y'all heard it on CNN. Let's go ahead and hear from Fox News. Because, I know a lot of you guys are sitting here going like, no, what do you mean, Seth? That just can't be true. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but look at the climate of today. I'll show you guys multiple videos of, I mean, we got politicians who didn't wish death on Trump or wish violence against the right. I mean, we got that one Somalian politician. I forgot her name, but Somalian politician. You guys know her, who has some pretty insensitive things to say about Charlie Kirk's death. So we already got a politician on paper saying something wild. And then, of course, the political pundits. So you guys are not really looking too good right now. And shout out Starch Manning. I thought they were the party of A, free speech, B, loving your neighbor, and C, the Constitution. Fox has been spreading hate for 30 years. I mean, are you sure, dog? Now, Fox has been spreading hate of, well, Muslims. I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest. I'm not going to sit here and say that Fox is just the guardian angels of news media. No, they're not. No, they all got their problems. But CNN, MSNBC, they're the ones that's spreading all this hate about your fellow Americans who just think differently than you. I mean, at a certain point, I prefer Fox and the hatred of Muslims than as CNN and MSNBC getting you to hate your fellow Americans. At a certain point, if you're asking me to pick, I'm going to be real with you. I don't want to go with both, but if you ask me to pick, I'm going with the hatred of Muslims over the hatred of my American people. To be quite honest, my friend, to be quite honest. And yeah, we are a party of free speech. Free speech don't mean it means you will. We can't arrest you for what you're saying, but it doesn't mean there's no freedom of consequences. So, there you go.
Concerns over political violence are hitting at a critical time. Right now, FBI Director Kash Patel, who you're looking at, is facing questions from the Senate Judiciary Committee. With the assassination of Charlie Kirk under a microscope, the suspected killer in that case is expected to appear in court in Utah this evening. Meanwhile, in New York City, another politically charged murder is in the spotlight. Luigi Mangione. You'll remember him. He's the alleged assassin of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. He was in court this morning. This morning, a judge in that case dismissed 2 state terrorism charges against Mangione. And supporters of Mangione, listen to that, of a supposed assassin have been outside of the courthouse all morning. Both of these cases, dueling cases, are unfolding as we learn about a disturbing trend across digital platforms, the normalization of what they're calling assassination.
They was literally dancing for this guy, a cold-blooded killer, and y'all just dancing for this man.
Culture.
Wild.
Hello, everyone. This is Outnumbered. I'm Kayleigh McEnany here with my co-host, Harris Faulkner and Emily Compagno. Also joining us, Laura Trump, host of My View with Laura Trump. And joining us on the couch for the very first time, comfortably smug, co-host of the Ruthless podcast. He told me just to call him Smug. All right. Well, a new study taking a look at something very serious. It's called assassination culture, where they're asking people about whether political violence could be acceptable. Now, over half of respondents who said they were left of center said murdering Elon Musk or President Trump may be at least somewhat justified.
No.
Researchers argue this acceptance is part of an entire belief system which they saw promoted again and again on the social media site Blue Sky. The study claims the site plays a significant and predictive role in amplifying radical ideation where, quote, users are increasingly associating the memification of Luigi Mangione with calls for political violence against Musk, Trump, and others, reflecting the growing cyber social pressure of assassination culture. Now, just look at Mangione's supporter outside the courthouse today. They are cheering after the New York appellate court tossed out state-level terrorism charges.
And here's a problem now. The whole Mangione thing, or Luigi, look, the only reason why people are celebrating him is because, well, people honestly hate capitalism that much, and they're so envious that they want to champion when a billionaire dies. And let's be real, the guy wasn't the most ethical businessman. And the law was going to take care of him eventually. So what Luigi Mangione did, in my opinion, was 1, unnecessary, and 2, it only stoked the flames of those who just hate capitalism oh so much to the point where they feel like that capitalism, let the capitalist red blood run in the street. Quote by Hassan Piker.
Watch this. I mean, Smug, those are people cheering for someone who took the life of a man, not just a man. He was a father. He had children. I remember reading the New York Times profile when this happened. He's a husband, a father. Brian Thompson ascended from modest roots in Iowa to one of the most powerful roles in the healthcare industry. Practical, relatable, had the human touch with everyone he came across that made them feel like they were the most important person in the room. He has a name, he has a face, he has a family, and yet you have cheerleaders for the assassin.
Yeah, I mean, this is horrific to see, but it's important to recognize that this is where we are in this current moment. We are seeing on the left this level of grassroots support for murder.
Like, you know, while over here on the right, while we criticize pedophiles and assassins, you know, we got the left over there kind of half-assed doing it. You know, they criticize the pedophiles, but for some reason they champion the assassins. Like, bro, what's wrong with you guys? Like, literally, what's wrong with you? Like, really? Like, an assassin walked up and killed somebody cold-blooded, and now this guy's a hero? That's y'all hero. And you wonder why you guys are losing voters. You wonder. Like, this is what the political pundits have created. Like, yes, the left-wingers, like, yes, Destiny, Hassan Piker, I mean, CNN hosts, the more radicalized of them. This is what y'all created.
Murder of individuals. We saw them celebrating a murder for Charlie Kirk, and we saw them even in the aftermath of the attempted assassinations, plural, on President Trump. They didn't stop with the radicalism. They didn't stop with the violence. It's horrific to see.
It is. You know, Emily, those state charges are out. He still faces federal charges, and then there's a second-degree murder charge at the state level. So, you know, the supposed assassin will not be getting off without facing justice and those potential charges. I do want to point out about 50 to 65 Luigi supporters, according to our reporter in the courtroom, signs of Free Luigi, people in costumes. And when you look at that and you look at the polling we just showed, it's not a one-off poll. I want to bring up some polling that Axios highlighted again about the Luigi Mangione case.
All right, now let's go. We're going to go ahead and get into PBD's breakdown into it. And then we're going to get into Kash Patel's, well, most highlighted moments in his hearing. Because we're not going to listen to the whole 4-hour hearing. I'm not about to do y'all like that. Don't worry. I love y'all more than that. But we are going to get into a bit of it. We're going to get into the most controversial moments. And shout out to my man Hellbat. He says, sent the video to the general Discord chat. And I just got here. How's everyone doing today? As they cry, we shall fly. Oh, yeah. Shout out Hellbat. Appreciate the support, big dog. And we're doing good today.
He's asking him if it's fair that the right is wanting to get people on the left to get canceled. And he brought some receipts. Go ahead, Rob.
This is about punishing.
And shout out Vance. He says, when someone thinks a CEO decides each and every denial is rather shallow in their thinking, shake my fucking head, bro. I know, right? I was like, bro, you understand that there are like agents. There's like so many other people that like makes that decision. Like, it is not the CEO. Actually, the CEO is so far away from that decision. It's hilarious. Actually, he only has, like, I'm gonna be real with you, he don't really have too much say on the people who makes a decision. He hires people to hire people to make that decision. Like, they're so far removed from it. It's crazy how people target him for that. I mean, if y'all really wanted to do something, maybe y'all should have, and let me not put any ideas in your head.
Them being the left, them being his political opponents. That actually, I think, is surprising to a lot of Americans, because that's not typically what you would expect to hear from the White House after.
Well, let's talk about some polling that he used to justify those comments before he made them on TV. YouGov came out with a poll 3 days ago talking about how each side feels about violence and support of political deaths. Liberals, 16%, believe it's okay to feel joy when your political opponent is killed. Liberals, very liberals, 24%. Conservatives, 4%. Very conservatives, 3%. Justifying violence. Very liberal people have 25% answered yes, it's okay. You justified that you should do violence against your political opponents. Liberals, 17%. Conservatives, 8%. And very conservatives, 3%. That means it is 6 to 1 times more likely in respondents to this poll on the left. Now, I'm not saying there's exclusivity on the left. I'm not saying that. But there is certainly a problem where 6 times the amount of Republicans believe that it's okay to feel joy when your political opponent is killed, murdered, whatever, attacked, and that 6 to 1 believe that they are okay in justifying violence against political opponents. That's a problem. That's a cancer within the movement.
Okay, so that's that. Now let's go to the study that he's quoting. So if you want to go to the study that we have, if you can go all the way to the top so people can see, the other way around, so people can see where it's at. It's YouGov, okay, that's doing this study. What Americans really think about political violence. So let's go through a couple of the polls, Rob. And then, Eric, I'm going to come to you. Go a little bit lower, go a little bit lower, 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 lower. All right, so what's this first one say? Most Americans say political violence is a very big problem or somewhat of a problem. And you'll see there, a very big problem, not a problem. Okay. Democrats, a very big problem, 58. Independents, 54. But Republicans, 67. A very big problem.
All right, most Americans say political violence is a very big problem or somewhat of a problem. So, yeah, I mean, the U.S. adults, we agreed it's a big problem. Democrats, I mean, we all agree that's a problem. And there's only 5% of people who is just delusional. Makes sense.
On the ages, you see, as you get older, it's a bigger problem. The younger, it's not really a problem. So let's go to the next question on what they looked up. No, keep going to the next one, Rob. Keep going to the next one. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, this one here. Most Americans say it's unacceptable to be happy about public figures' deaths, but younger and more liberals are likely to call it acceptable. So if you look at this question, do you generally consider it acceptable or unacceptable for a person to be happy about the death of a public figure they oppose? So if you look at the very liberal, America, U.S. adults, 8% says acceptable, okay? 77% say unacceptable. But look at the political ideology. Very liberal, 24% say it's acceptable. Liberal, 10%. Moderate, 7%. Conservative, 4%. Rob, can you click on the very conservative so people can see that number? That's 3.
And just if you guys can't see it, I can go straight to the website myself. I know right here. So it's today.ugov.com. I mean, you can also Google it and look up the article. It's ugov.com. But yes, most Americans say it's unacceptable. And this is where it's concerning, right? As we get, more over there to the liberal side, it gets more and more acceptable, or is seen to be more and more acceptable to commit political violence. So the very liberal, 24% of these guys are saying, yeah, we can go ahead and celebrate Charlie Kirk's death, or it's okay to wish death on, our opponents, which would be conservatives. Liberals, only 10%. That's not too bad. And the moderates, I mean, all right, cool. But as you go down conservative, it seems like you get less violent. And this is just what the survey proves. And, this is just a survey, only with a limited amount of people. So you can take it with a grain of salt if you want to. But a lot of us are seeing this as, very concerning. Rightfully so. But all right, guys, let's get over to Kash Patel's hearing now that we've got a closer look into this. Because, man, that boy Cory Booker and Adam Schiff did not want to let this man breathe. All right, let's go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Patel, I want to start off where we left off last time. I asked you whether you had any knowledge or discussions about removing FBI officials and installing political personnel before you were confirmed to that position. And I wonder, did you then understand or have conversations with the White House about the intentions to do so?
Before I was confirmed?
Yes, sir.
Did I have discussions with the White House to remove FBI personnel?
Yes.
No.
So you're saying that you had no discussions with the White House?
Oh, shout out to my man Monty. Say you should do horizontal live streams. You know what? I'll work some of those in. Why not? He says, shout out to Hellbat. He says, can we go over the candidates for upcoming voting being state to state votes are just as important as a presidential election? By the way, still no shine. No, still no shine. I would not put the shine on the forehead, my friend. Not today.
White House, before you were in the position, about the removal of any personnel from the agency?
As I was preparing for my confirmation hearing, I had numerous discussions involving the type of people that would be employed, and that those that were failing to meet the mark at the FBI would no longer be employed if I were
And I'm assuming that mark had to do with loyalty to the Trump administration.
No, you're wrong.
Okay. I'd like to revisit another subject from that hearing. Did you testify, excuse me, you did testify before the grand jury that President Trump had declassified the documents at issue in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case. Is that correct?
I don't have the grand jury transcript. That's why I released it. Whatever it says is the best evidence.
That's what you said to Senator Whitehouse, that your grand jury testimony was publicly released. It has not been. In fact, in July, a court denied a news outlet's bid to get that transcript. But the court said quite clearly that you are free to discuss your grand jury testimony. So I ask you again, did you testify before the grand jury that President Trump declassified the documents at issue in the Mar-a-Lago classified document case?
And that is why I took your invitation to work with the department and the court to have that transcript released. And the transcript is the best evidence of what I said then.
So you're saying right now this committee can have access to what you said before the grand jury?
To whatever was released. Under my understanding, Senator, that the Department of Justice.
You and I both understand the law. Let me finish. I understand under Rule 6 of the Federal Rules of Procedure, a grand jury witness, in this case you, is not barred from sharing their grand jury testimony. This is an oversight.
And shout out to my man Monty. Says 90 to shine the forehead and to open the call-in line. Shout out Monty for the baller alert. And okay, I can open the call-in line, but shining the forehead's a bit much. Like, screw you guys. All right? Like, no, for real. Like, screw you guys. I'm about to go ahead and play the South Park meme. But in the meantime, let's get right back to it as I open up the call-in line. And like I said,
well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Hearing. This is germane to your integrity and credibility. You know right now whether or not you testified that President Trump declassified the documents at issue in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case. Why are you refusing to answer that simple yes or no question right now?
Because the premise of your question is inaccurate, And
The
that
premise,
is
there is
why.
no premise to question, but trying to
Bad
get to an
faith.
order of what is truth or not.
How do you
Did
know
you
what,
or
how,
did you-
how do you know what was asked in the grand jury if you weren't there?
Mr. Patel, this is a mockery you're making of this hearing and simple questions.
It's a
So let
simple
me move on.
question. If you have
Mr.
a
Patel,
transcript, you
during
can
your
read the question,
nomination
but you don't have
hearing,
it.
you promised that, quote, all FBI employees will be protected against political retribution. When I asked you, are you aware of any plans or discussions to punish in any way, including termination, FBI agents or personnel associated with the Trump administration, you explicitly said under oath that you were not aware of any plans to punish FBI agents associated with criminal investigations of Donald Trump. I don't believe you were truthful. Firing FBI employees based solely on the cases that they are investigating, their case assignments, is illegal, and you know that. A new lawsuit that's been discussed numerous times, filed by 3 FBI officials, alleges that you carried out Donald Trump's campaign of retribution, in quotes, against FBI employees for, quote,
I mean, I swear, Donald Trump's campaign of retribution equals, or AKA, holding these guys accountable. Yes, because you're holding them accountable, they're going to sue you and frame it as Donald Trump's retribution campaign, as if you guys don't have it coming. Because it's like, oh, let's pretend like I didn't just try to throw this man in jail for hundreds of years. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Okay, cool. And shout out to my man Hellbat. He says, I'm going to start a pension to make you do it. I will wear a bald cap. You know, we compromise on a bald cap. Shine it like Mr. Clean. See, Vladstein already beat me to it. Shine it like Mr. Clean. Squeaky. I am not going bald, though.
Failure to demonstrate
Not yet.
sufficient political loyalty. One of those plaintiffs has been discussed today, Brian Driscoll. Now, we know 20 years of distinguished service to the FBI before you terminated him. Special agent in charge of FBI's Newark field office, where he operated with distinction. Medal of Valor winner, Shield of Bravery awards. He's a patriot. You terminated Driscoll via a letter dated October 8th, 2025. And in that letter, you said that you were firing him pursuant to Article 2 of the Constitution. Well, you're not the president of the United States. And so I'm wondering under what authority you were allowed to terminate him.
That matter is under litigation, and I'm not able to discuss it.
Okay, well, discuss this. Did you have
he is the FBI director, so it is what it is.
discussions with Stephen Miller about firing this?
It is wild how he says, well, these 2 FBI guys who are firing you for firing, was suing you for firing them. What gives you the right as the FBI director to fire these FBI agents? I'm like, bro, do you hear yourself? Do you hear yourself? And of course, he can't talk about it because he's currently being sued for it. It is what it is. And shout out to my man Sid. He's like, y'all like free speech? Yes, we like free speech, Sid. We don't agree with what Pam Bondi was talking about. Everybody condemned her on both sides.
Particular
But how you doing, Sid?
person, or about his continuance in the FBI?
Not that I recall.
How often do you speak to Stephen Miller?
Frequently on our Homeland Security task forces.
You frequently discuss with Stephen Miller about subjects other than Homeland Security task force issues, correct?
I frequently talk to Mr. Miller about Homeland Security task forces.
Has Stephen Miller
That's what
ever
he said.
given you his opinions on how to run your agency?
Mr. Miller's interagency operations are invaluable to the FBI. That's what we talk about.
So you frequently discuss your job and your responsibilities with Stephen Miller and Pam Bondi, I imagine, as well.
Absolutely. She's the Attorney General.
Understood. Okay.
What you would hope.
Donald Trump promised to make us all safer. You have pushed out senior FBI agents with decades of knowledge and experience. In fact, this is the first time in FBI.
Oh, and shout out to my man Maine. He says, said he meant to get more super chats, not for the go. I'm not doing it for go bald. Cannot do that. And shout out to my man Monty. He said, this is for Sid for being a good human this week. Yeah, I know. Sid, I'm sorry, but I'll be honest with you. We were expecting you to go balls to the wall, start saying all types of wild stuff about Charlie Kirk, and you didn't. You didn't. Actually, all right, well, what can I say? You've passed our expectations. You exceeded our expectations on that one.
A history that neither the director nor
Hopefully
the
that's not
deputy director
offensive.
have any experience with the FBI.
And if it is,
you've shifted
hopefully
the
it's
agency's
slightly
priorities primarily to pursuing Donald Trump's immigration enforcement agenda. According to ICE data, the Cato Institute, which is a conservative think tank, found that 20% of all agents have been diverted from their work to assist ICE immigration enforcement. 20%. Part of this operation is the work of mass law enforcement who jump out of cars, snatch people off streets at churches, schools, and their jobs and hospitals. Have there been any FBI agents who investigate crimes against children that have been assigned to immigration enforcement, yes or no?
Wait, what?
The premise of what you say is entirely
Have there been
false.
any FBI agents who investigate foreign domestic terrorism?
You don't get to say the America is not safer under this leadership.
I am not saying
America
that.
is safer because of the work of the FBI.
You're making a presumption of premise.
4,700 children.
Sir,
we have seized 6,000 weapons and 23,000 violent felons have
that
been
FBI
arrested.
agents who investigate human trafficking have been reassigned to immigration enforcement. You are not denying that FBI agents who are on the task force that fight against Russian oligarchs have not been reassigned. Public Correction Squad reassigned. People who defend us, defend children reassigned. You're not denying that. I've seen you time and time again attack my colleagues' premises of questions.
You know, ICE, I'll be real with you. Yeah, ICE is actually helping save those kids that you're also worried about. So if he's reassigning these guys who are usually on kid cases, that means they're probably dealing with that same thing over there in ICE, and they need a specialist. I mean, they do it all the time in law enforcement, which is crazy how you don't know that, but you're too busy trying to bastardize this man to even know how law enforcement really works and how they kind of work together. Well, at least with their specialists. I mean, when it comes to sharing cases, I mean, they're a bit fickle about it. But when it comes to giving out specialists, I mean, hey, they're pretty handy with that.
As a way to not answer the question. So let me end with this. I believe you have made our country weaker and less safe. I believe that we are more vulnerable to a major event, and I pray to God it doesn't happen.
Of course you do.
You've gutted the Bureau of Institutional Knowledge and Expertise. You fired or pushed out seasoned FBI officials, many with more than 20 years of experience, and were working on cases that were critical.
Deep state.
You've been purging thousands of serious law enforcement officials who spent their careers keeping us safe, only to lower hiring standards in order to find anyone to replace them. And shockingly, you admitted in this hearing to Senator Coons that it would take 14 years to fill the vacancies at your agency. Many are the result of your purge. 20% of FBI agents are doing low-level immigration enforcement instead of their mission-critical work. You've disbanded entire task force.
I mean, let's be honest, it is what we voted for. I mean, let's be real. If they're doing immigration enforcement to help go find kids because you're concerned about the ones who help find kids for the FBI, I mean, don't you think that they would send them with ICE to where they're pretty much cracking down on that right there? Like, let's be real here. Like, part of the whole immigration enforcement thing is to help find these 300,000 unaccompanied minors that Biden will let go unaccompanied into the United States. And Lord knows what they're doing. Lord knows. I mean, best case scenario, they're on the farm working somewhere for free, basically being a modern day slave in America.
Forces that stop
That's the best case scenario.
Election interference, foreign influence, public corruption. And who benefits from this? Well, corrupt people benefit from it. Criminals benefit from it. Vladimir Putin benefits from it. And it really makes me wonder who you're looking out for. It makes me think we can't trust you as a nation. You swear to release the Epstein files, but now you're withholding the Epstein files. You claim that you have a suspect in a serious assassination. Whoops, then you don't have a suspect.
And shout out to my man Sid. He says, I'm a nice person. Well, you could fool me. You could have fooled me. Sometimes you're nice. Sometimes you have your days, my friend. And shout out to my man Fox Shays. What up, fellow Charlies? Hey, what's up, my man? I didn't see my man Fox Chase in a minute. Glad to see you, brother.
You know nothing about plans to remove FBI agents, yet you're directly involved in those plans. In the words of an ex-FBI official, you are overseeing, and I quote, generational destruction of the nation's premier law enforcement agency. Mr. Patel, in just 8 months, you have assaulted the institutional integrity of the FBI. But I know FBI field agents. I've worked with them in Newark. No matter how truly bad you are, you can't undermine the legacy of agents who fight every day to keep us safe, but you can tarnish the integrity of the agency and undermine the agency's capacity. I believe you're failing as a leader, and that your failure does have serious implications for the safety and security of Americans and our families. We're more vulnerable to domestic and foreign attack because of your failures of leadership. I don't think you're fit to hand the bureau. But here's the thing, Mr. Patel. I think you're not going to be around long.
Bro.
I think this might be your last oversight hearing.
Hey, yo. I ain't gonna lie, Cory Booker, he laying into him right now. Wow. He did, like I said, spent the whole time bastardizing this man. And let's be real, he doesn't really know what he's talking about. But I ain't gonna lie, when it comes to crazy rhetoric or just making somebody seem like the biggest villain in history, I give it up to this man right here. I mean, he will make you look like the worst person to ever touch the earth. Just look, let him catch you in his crosshairs.
Because as much as you supplicate yourself to the will of Donald Trump and not the Constitution of the United States of America, Donald Trump has shown us in his first term and in this term, he is not loyal to people like you. He will cut you loose. This may be the last time I have a hearing with you because I don't think you're long for your job. But I'm going to tell you this. I pray for you. I pray for you that you can step up and defend your oath, defend the Constitution, and do a much better job of defending this country. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do you want to say anything?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That rant of false information does not bring this country together. If you want to work on bringing this country, it's my time, not yours.
My God.
If you want to talk about
dividing this country,
it is my
I follow
time.
you on your social media posts.
Of course.
It is my time to address your falsehoods.
Oh, you can try all you want
in this country.
to not take
It is
responsibility
my time.
for what
You
you
had
have
your
said.
time.
Sir,
Okay.
you're
Your
making
time
a
is
mockery of this
over.
committee. Sir, you don't tell me my time is over.
You
The
know how
people
far
of New
we've
Jersey
come
tell me
since
what
you
my
tell-
time is. You can't lecture me.
You can tell me my time's over?
You may be the charge of the
I'm not
FBI,
going anywhere.
but I am not afraid of you.
Mr. Chairman,
I'm not afraid of you.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Senator Booker, I announced at the beginning of this meeting that this back and forth talking over each other doesn't work. And I said, if that happened, I asked Patel not to respond, and I was going to give him some time after the senator's time was up to respond. And he has the privilege to do that.
Nah, the senator Cory ain't want that man to respond. He just wanted him to take that verbal lashing. I want you to take the verbal lashing. I'm going to eviscerate you. I'm going to tell you're an incompetent leader. I'm going to tell you straight to your face that, yeah, and you about to be fired. I'm praying for your dumb ass. And then I'm about to just leave, and I'm not going to let you say nothing. I mean, what? Hey, I ain't gonna lie. The disrespect that gets crazy in these hearings. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I'd have to look at Cory Booker too. Like, what, you honestly thought you was just gonna say that rant and he wasn't gonna say nothing to you? Like, come on now, be reasonable and at least hear him out.
That uninterrupted.
Mr.
So
Chairman, one point of
Go
order.
ahead, Mr.
I've
Patel.
watched him talk over us, and you've never once criticized him for us not even being able to get our questions out.
Well,
He has been rude and disrespectful to senator after senator.
And when the senators were not giving him a chance to answer, I didn't stop the senator either. Go ahead, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If the FBI, under my 7-month leadership, were failing this administration in this country, why do we have 23,000 violent felons arrested this year alone? A double increase from that time last year. Why is it that we have seized 6,000 weapons? Why have we found 1,500 child predators and arrested them? Why have we 300 human traffickers in jail? Why have we found and identified 4,700 children? Why have we seized 1,600 kilograms of fentanyl, enough to kill a third of the American public, a 25% increase alone from last year, 88,000 kilograms of cocaine seized, 7,000 kilograms of meth seized, and that's just on our criminal operations in summer heat. How is it possible that we're taking 8 kilograms off the streets of the cities in New Jersey and preventing the deaths of 607,000 people this year alone, a failure of the FBI and my leadership? How is it that we have counterintelligence arrests already this year exceeding the numbers from the entirety of last year? 33% increase in PRC, 83% in Russia, 60% in the CI space as it relates to Iran, and we haven't even talked about S.E.T, the southern border, the northern border.
Before
Damn.
Senator Cruz, I kind of feel like a broken record today. All this interest in FBI termination, yet my colleagues showed no intent or interest in when my whistleblowers suffered retaliation over the past years, particularly the past 4 years, Indeed, one whistleblower has alleged that Brian.
All right, now let's get to the Adam Schiff one, because I guess that was the next hot moment right there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Patel, during your confirmation hearing, you made several important commitments. For instance, you told Senator Coons there will be no politicization at the FBI. There'll be no retributive actions taken by any FBI should I be confirmed as FBI director. So let me ask you very specifically, did you ever take any action to terminate or discipline an FBI agent or employee in whole or in part as retribution for being part of an investigation of Donald Trump or January 6th?
No.
You also committed, you assured Senator Blumenthal, all FBI employees will be protected against political retribution. So you're testifying today that you played no role in the firing of even a single FBI agent for political retribution.
None for political retribution.
And if any FBI agent said you did, they would be lying. Is that your testimony?
I'm only speaking to my actions. Everybody is allowed to make their allegations.
Oh, no, these are allegations against you.
And
so, Mr. Patel, if FBI, senior FBI agents or employees said that you were firing them for political retribution reasons because of the cases they were assigned, you're saying they would be lying. Is that
anyone that was terminated at the FBI was done so for failing to meet the standards, uphold their constitutional oath, and effectuate the mission.
Well, by meet the standards, are you talking about meet the standards of protecting the president under any circumstance?
No.
You also guaranteed Senator Blumenthal that every FBI employee will be held to the same, absolute same standard. No one will be terminated for case assignments. Are you testifying today that you never terminated anyone at the FBI in whole or in part because of a prior case assignment?
No one at the FBI is terminated for case assignments alone.
Well, I'm asking about you, Mr. Patel. Did you in whole or in part terminate anyone at the FBI because they worked on the Trump investigation or because they worked on January 6th?
No one at the FBI has been terminated for case assignments alone.
Okay, you're saying alone. Does that mean they were terminated in part
alone
because they were assigned to a January 6th case or assigned to the Mar-a-Lago case? You're being very precise here, Mr. Patel. You're saying,
I mean, that AKA they could have got fired for other reason. I mean, it just doesn't have to be that.
I was gonna say he said no one was fired. He answered the fucking question. He wants to ask it 5 different ways for effect.
Yeah, but shout out to my man Fox Chase. He says, can we see that Jesse Smollett get his due justice? I'm still not letting that shit go.
Shit.
Oh man. But what's going on, Monty? What's going on, Sid?
I like chicken nuggets.
Up, guys?
What's up, good?
Bros?
What's going on, guys? All right, guys. Let's get
hope you're all well.
Oh yeah, man. Oh man, it's all good. What about you?
Yeah, I'm all right.
All right, man. Let's get right into it, guys. And let me know if when y'all need to pause. But let's not pause too much. All right.
Alone. That means they were fired in part because they were assigned those cases. Is that your testimony?
Absolutely not. But if you want to keep putting words in my mouth,
then let me ask you, let's strip away the word alone. Did you terminate or participate in any discipline of any FBI employee in whole or in part because of their work on an investigation of Donald Trump or January 6th? Yes or no?
Any terminations at the FBI by employees?
No, I'm asking you a very specific
question. And I'm going to answer the question, but you don't like the answer because it's the truth and it guts
want an answer to my question. I don't want an answer to someone else's question. So let me just be precise, and I ask for a yes or no answer. Did you ever terminate or discipline an FBI employee in whole or in part because they had been assigned or worked on an investigation of Donald Trump or January 6th?
FBI employees are only terminated if they fail to uphold their oaths of office and duty.
You're not answering my question.
I don't have to answer your question yes or no because you're setting up a trap so you can have a media narrative.
I'm not setting up a trap.
And I'm not giving it to you.
Unless it's true that you fired people.
People have been terminated at the FBI who failed to uphold the standards that the FBI requires them to uphold.
Did you tell anyone at the FBI that all FBI employees who they identified who had worked on cases against President Trump would be removed from their jobs. Did you tell that to someone at the FBI?
Say that I would remove people for case assignments?
That people that were identified as having worked on cases against President Trump would be removed from their jobs. Did you tell that to someone at the FBI?
People are not removed
But
for
just
case
answer my
assignments.
question. Just answer my question. Did you tell that to someone?
People are not removed for case
No,
assignments.
you're not answering my question.
And I would
Mr.
never
Patel,
tell anyone.
Did you tell someone at the FBI that FBI employees identified as having worked on cases against President Trump would be removed from their jobs? Yes or no? Did you tell someone that?
I would never tell anyone at the FBI that they're being removed for basically their case assignments.
Okay, so anyone who said that would be lying. Is that your testimony?
Anyone can say whatever they want.
No, I know, but you're saying they were a liar.
I'm telling you what I said.
Because this is in the complaint against you, Mr. Patel. So you're saying Mr. Driscoll and others are liars.
I'm not going to address the complaint.
Yeah, go ahead.
You cannot label somebody as a liar in whole or in part in that is considered hearsay. He can only testify to what he has said. Like, you cannot frame someone's state of mind. You cannot frame someone's intent. That is hearsay. This is the same rules of law and same rules of evidence and things like that. All he's doing is grandstanding for political points.
I thought Monty.
Yeah.
He's asking the people that would testify to whether or not he told them that.
And he answered the question. He answered the question like several times.
Well, he Adam Schiff said, so are you saying the people that have said that you did this are lying? And he's unwilling to answer that question.
Because you can't answer that you cannot answer that question. That is not a question.
You can.
No, you cannot testify to somebody else's state of mind. Lying is a state of mind.
So if he has fired people for their case assignments and they've testified to that.
Hold on. Let me explain it in a way that makes a little bit more sense. For example, if I believe that I was fired for political actually, let me take politics out of it. If you and I see a car in a parking lot and I see it and I think it's purple and you see it and you think it's black and I testify that I saw a purple car and you said it was a black car and someone asks me, well, is Sid lying about that? No, I cannot judge. Like, you might honestly believe that you saw a black car. I believe I saw a purple car. Lying is blind.
So what they're trying to do is actually get him on something to open up.
That's exactly what they're trying to do.
Slow
But Monty,
or get rid of him.
Monty, let's say you're my boss and you come up and you tell me, hey, I need you to say this thing, or did you work on this thing? If you worked on this thing, we don't want you around. And I say, oh, I did work on that thing. And then I get fired. And then I tell corporate, oh, he asked me if I worked on this thing, and I told him I worked on the thing, and then he fired me.
Well, that
and then you get asked if you fired people that worked on that thing because they worked on that thing, and you say, well, it's not that alone. It can't be that alone.
Right.
I mean,
so if he tells you, hey, did you work on this thing? Which he's completely allowed to do. He's the director of the FBI. He is allowed to know what he's working on. Right. We can agree on that. And then he finds out that that thing was politically motivated, and he looks at their performance reviews. Oh shit, they're not cutting the mustard. Bye, they're gone. They're not fired because they worked on that thing. They were targeted for termination, perhaps. Maybe you could make that stretch, but they were fired for cause. And everybody that has been fired for cause has come back and said, oh, it was politically motivated. Why? Because they want their jobs back. Not because it was because they were on it. You can't fire somebody for that. Just like you can't.
But many people that have worked in the FBI have gotten really good marks. You said they got bad marks. Like, a lot of these people that are suing
I'm using a
got
Okay,
good
hold on
marks
now,
throughout their
guys.
whole
Hold on.
career.
Well, like, what we're forgetting about here is that like the complexity of it, because he could have fired them for what they done inside said case that they believe they're being fired for. It's like, all right, you're right. You feel like you're being fired because you were in this case, but really it was your conduct that you did inside this case is why we're firing you, not because
Well,
you
no,
were
it's not
on this
at will
case.
employment. This is a public employer. This is a public job. The FBI is a public
Right,
job.
so
It's
that's why I
different than a
say
private company.
fired for cause. I didn't say at will. I said fired for cause.
And what the way I see it is the FBI saw there are people that they believe to breaking the law through other cases that happened and intel that came through. So they looked into those people and found other things that those people did that were nefarious or illegal.
Yeah, but these guys are suing the administration because there is no other
Anybody can
cause.
sue anybody.
They haven't.
Just because someone's suing somebody, doesn't mean they actually have a case. You can go right down to a federal courthouse and file a suit against the government right now if you wanted to. That doesn't give any credibility to the argument that it happened. Just because
You're right. That alone doesn't, but it creates a court record where the administration has to show they have a cause, and Kash Patel is not the president.
Right, and you can't comment. Hold on. And while there's court proceedings going, you as a defendant cannot comment on those court proceedings because it taints.
All right, we'll
the
give
evidence.
this a minute more.
It taints the evidence, so you can't go on national TV and go fucking blow up the case and contaminate the potential jury pool, jury selection, stuff like that. That's why you can't comment on it.
Are you kidding? They've been commenting on every case before they even have a fucking subject in custody. Before they even have a subject in custody, they've been commenting on every case. On the motivations, on what type of penalty they'll be seeking against them. Up until the president, they've been doing that.
So they can comment on leaked information, which is all that they've commented on.
That's not true.
They can absolutely say we're going to seek the death penalty for this. You can derive political motivations based off of the leaked shell casing engravings. You can derive political motivation from the fact that it was a conservative speaker that was shot. So absolutely, you can comment on things like that.
And time, guys, time. Let's get back to the video. We done spent a good 10 minutes on the conversation. All right, let's keep it going.
Okay, well then let me ask you: have you ever told anyone at the FBI that the FBI tried to put the president in jail and he hasn't forgotten it, and that your job depended on the removal of agents who worked on cases against the president?
No.
Did you ever tell anyone that?
No.
Okay. Did you ever tell anyone that you knew these summary firings you were undertaking were illegal, likely illegal, and that you would be sued and later deposed? Did you ever tell anyone that?
No firings at the FBI or terminations were done for anything other than justified
Did you ever
cause.
tell anyone that, Mr.
No,
Patel? Why don't you
no
answer my question?
terminations at the FBI were ever done in my tenure for anything other than failing.
Did you ever
to
tell
uphold
anyone
their
that,
oath of
Mr. Patel? You willing to answer the question?
The FBI.
I guess
I
you're
have
not willing to
answered
answer the
it.
question. So let me move on.
answer you
Let me
can
move on to the Epstein files. You said you're the most transparent FBI director in history, so I'm going to put you to the test. In 2024, you were asked by Glenn Beck about Epstein's Black Book.
Wait, hold on.
No, pause.
And
I
you
want to make a point real quick. Notice how they have these fucking poster boards put up behind this. This is not about a fact-finding mission. This is not about anything about transparency. This is about political grandstanding. If it was about anything other than a fact-finding mission, they wouldn't have fucking poster boards because they know it's being televised.
No, they have to show what is happening because otherwise people.
Why is his face next to it then?
Because people are not going to take Adam Schiff's word. They have to show what is happening.
Really?
At least you're admitting Adam Schiff can't be trusted.
I'm not admitting that. I'm just saying you guys wouldn't take his word. Like, he has to put up these poster boards.
Fair.
He has to put up these poster boards of headlines.
Finish the statements for political grandstanding.
Well, okay, but he's an elected representative. He is representing millions of people in the
Got you.
House, and Kash Patel's representing nobody. He's a political hire, and he's acting like he has more room to talk than people that were elected officials. That their exact duty is oversight, and Kash Patel, this fucking bureaucrat, this political employee, is acting like his position is higher than than these senators that were hired by the people through elections, and sole purpose is to do oversight.
Those same senators put him in office, so he's appointed through the president and confirmed by the Senate. He's just as fucking
on a partisan basis. And now we see a bunch of mega officials doubting Kash Patel.
What does that have?
Let's get back to the video on this one.
Political grandstanding, Sid.
Hold on, guys. Let's get back to the video because it was supposed to be a quick little take, but it turned into something else. But all right, let's get back to it and let's hear the man out completely. Let's see where he's going with this.
So I'm going to put you to the test. In 2024, you were asked by Glenn Beck about Epstein's Black Book. And you said, he asked, who has Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book? And you said, Black Book FBI. And he said, but who? That is, I mean, there's, and you said, oh, that's under the direct control of the director of the FBI. That's what you said. Was that true, Mr. Patel?
I'll rely on you quoting it accurately. I did that a couple
Was
of
it
years
true
ago.
what you represented to Mr. Beck and the president's supporters out there, or were you lying? Was it true that the Black Book, Epstein's Black Book, was in the possession of the FBI director?
I have a quick question, Seth.
Okay, so now that you're the FBI director, you have possession of the.
Quick question. What's up?
Yeah. So I was just wondering, are you going to play Kash Patel's appearance today before the House as well? I think that one was a little better than the Senate, but.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for them to clip that one up. You know, that one was done today, so that, you know, it's like a full 5 hour or so, I believe.
Yeah, this is 10 hours of fucking them asking the same questions over and over against partisan lines. That's all it was.
But it is what it is.
It's the same thing on repeat over and over. My mom watched it, the whole fucking thing. I don't have the patience to watch senators fucking try to weasel their way through questioning.
It depends who it is. Because some of these guys got some pretty like witty comebacks. It's hilarious.
Do you have John Kennedy? I mean, he's a Republican senator. Are you going to play his? Because he put.
I heard his was actually pretty crazy. I heard he actually asked some good questions. So I will look that one up though. I got you. But shout out Hellbat. He said, Sid, you need to turn the mic down. You need to turn the mic down a bit. It's loud as hell. Well.
I'm on headphones. I don't know how to do that. I'll just stop yelling.
I got you.
You're yelling?
Right?
That index has been released.
So you have Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book?
What is known as Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book has been released by us.
And you released it. And let me follow up on Senator Kennedy's question, because he asked you, and I'll be very precise here. You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself? And you said himself. There's no credible information, none. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And Kennedy, the information we have again is limited. And Senator Kennedy said the answer is no one. And you said for the information we have. So is it your testimony today that in all of the Epstein files, that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked no one to anyone but himself? Is that your testimony, Mr.
I never
Patel?
said Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic anyone else.
Did he traffic any young woman to someone other than himself? That was Mr. Kennedy's question,
And I
Senator Kennedy's
said
question.
the information that 3 administrations have had access to
I'm
have
asking-
made determinations that there are no investigative leads that were credible to prosecute and investigate any others. I'm specifically
I'm asking
stating
you whether
we
it's
were
your
working
testimony today.
Well, you just read it, and I
I'm-
said it
I'm-
10 minutes ago, so let the record reflect my testimony.
I just want to make sure there's no misunderstanding, because there are victims like Virginia Weaver who have testified otherwise, who have said otherwise, and you're telling the American people today that the Epstein list is a single name and it's Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we're to believe?
That's not what I'm saying. That's what you're saying. And
Well,
you can say whatever you want.
Let me ask you this. When Todd Blanche went to interview Ghislaine Maxwell, she said, but did I think these guys were coming for that? I really don't. If you met Epstein, there's no way that this cast of characters, of which it's extraordinary, and some are in your cabinet, who you value as your co-workers, and you know would be with him if he was a creep or because they wanted sexual favors. A man wants sexual favors, he will find that. They didn't have to come to Epstein for that. And the next question Todd Blanche, the president's former criminal defense lawyer, asked is not who in the cabinet, who are you referring to? His question is, so when's the last time you think you were with Mr. Epstein when he got a massage? So let me ask you, who are those cabinet members that Ghislaine Maxwell was referring to that were part of this cast of characters associated with Mr. Epstein? Who are they?
The Deputy Attorney General took the aggressive step that no one else did and interviewed Miss Maxwell for 2 days, and we released the entirety of that transcript. I do not have that transcript in front of me. You're picking it piecemeal. The American public can read the entirety of that.
One last question, because you clearly won't tell us the cabinet members associated with Mr. Epstein. Let me ask you one last question.
I mean, like he
and that is, right after she gives this testimony, in front of an FBI agent, among others, she's transferred to a minimum security prison not suitable for a sex offender like herself. Who made that decision and why?
The Bureau of Prisons.
The Bureau of Decisions made it in
prisons.
The Bureau of Prisons decided
you
on their
fucking old
own,
hag.
without any consultation with Blanche or anyone else, that they were going to suddenly, after this interview, completely unrelated to this interview, completely unrelated to anything she said, move her to a prison not suitable for a sex offender. You want the American people to believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No, I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of
you're not in
inmates.
the weeds?
What I am doing is
most-
protecting this
the
country,
most- the
providing
most
historic
significant
reform,
witness-
and
the most
combating the
significant witness,
weaponization of
the
intelligence
Epstein
by the
files
likes of you.
cover-up
And we have
gets
countlessly proven you to
from
be a
your
liar in
administration,
Russiagate, in
and you
January
call that
6th.
being
You are
in
the
the
biggest
weeds?
fraud to ever sit in the
This
United States
stinks to
Senate.
high
You are a
heaven.
disgrace to
This
this
stinks to high
institution
heaven.
and an utter coward.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised
not
that you continue to lie
surprised
from
that
your
the-
perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political
quick.
buffoon at best.
Pause.
Go ahead.
Does the panel think Cash is doing good here? Like he looks good here?
I do.
Okay.
Well, let's be real.
Other guys?
No, hold on. Let me. I don't
Explain
think.
too.
I don't think Cash either looks good or looks bad. He's answering fucking loaded questions. So I think Schiff looks like a crybaby child that's fucking reaching at straws, and Cash is answering within the confines of court orders, gag orders, specific things that he's not allowed to talk about, and other things. And he fucking Schiff knows what he can and cannot answer. So he wants to fucking do what he can to make it look as shady as possible. But
Monty, I know that you and I have screamed at each other on here, but I guarantee you would come off better than Cash Patel is coming off here. This guy's coming off like a child.
No, so Sid,
Senate
Sid. All right, let me fucking break this down for you. There was a blue car outside my house. Now a judge has told you. Now you cannot tell the color of the car. Now all I hear is car and house. Car and house. And that's all you can fucking give answers to, because that's what's not fucking put in a gag order or a non-disclosure agreement, or
that's not what is happening here.
I'm not done talking yet. Don't interrupt me. Or that the fact that he got this fucking sweetheart deal under the fucking Bush administration, fucking 20 fucking years ago, that's still under seal to this day and fucking has been fought for tooth and nail to be sealed. Like, he knows fucking what he wants to fucking say. He's fucking barred from saying it.
Okay, who gave him that sweetheart deal?
I I don't remember who gave him that.
Do you know the name Acosta?
Yeah,
Alex Acosta. You know who he was?
Trump's old labor secretary.
Yeah, and he's getting thrown under the bus right now by Kash Patel. Not in this instance, but in a different instance. He did say that Alex Acosta made the first mistake with the deal he gave him. But Kash Patel, in the testimony he's given between the Senate and the House, has contradicted himself. Like when he said that the only people that Epstein trafficked were to himself, he didn't traffic people to other individuals.
As far as
I mean, do you guys agree with that? Do you think that? And I mean, that's perjury.
Where did
could
he
say
contradict himself? Where did he contradict? At what point did he say he trafficked people to other people?
I'll have to find you the exact instance, but I think it was in the House today.
If you're gonna say things that are libelous, you have to be able to present it immediately.
Well, if I'm saying things that are libelous, he can sue me for libel. But I remember it. I can't fucking go off this thing because it'll disconnect me from here. But I can show you. I think it was in the House today where Kash specifically said, I never said that he only trafficked people to himself. Which he clearly did say that. If you think that's a lie, and if you want to stake that down, because I can't name it right now.
Whoa. No, that's what Pam Bondi said. Pam Bondi came out.
No.
Kash Patel said that. Kash Patel's the one who came out. Well, him and Dan Bongino came out and said he hung himself.
And so
Pam Bondi's the one who said that there's no list. Jeffrey Epstein
today he set the John Kennedy one. That's the one I'm asking you about.
If you're talking about that, then he's only going off what Pam Bondi is going off.
There's no evidence to support an investigation and charges. That doesn't mean someone didn't do something.
But there is on Schiff.
Senator Kennedy asked him, who did Epstein traffic to? Was it only himself? And Kash Patel said, yes, it was only himself.
So check this out. Kash Patel also said, as far as the evidence shows us, but okay, he means as far as the law will allow you to prosecute on the evidence you have.
If he meant that, he could say that. He did not say that.
And we also have to say that some stuff is redacted due to the Supreme Court or a district court.
District courts, yeah. And you
cannot barely anything is redacted. Barely anything is redacted.
How do you know? Do you have the documents?
Yeah, how do you know?
I know the amount of documents they do have, and I know the amount that the court is redacting.
All right, guys.
Like a percentage.
So you know.
All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and get into this video with Kash Patel and, Senator Kennedy. Before you guys get too off into the conversation, since it's being brought up.
Mr. Director, you and the
before I get into this, he said,
dumbass super chat.
He said, if there was no sex trafficking, then why is Ghislaine Maxwell in jail?
Because there was no one's saying there wasn't sex trafficking. Fucking open your ears for 2 seconds.
FBI working with state and local law enforcement officials in Utah have caught the assassin of Mr. Charlie Kirk. Is that right?
We have a suspect, yes, sir.
And you did that within 48 hours, did you not?
33 hours.
33 hours. Congratulations. We've had other political assassinations. Back in June, an assassinated Representative Melissa Hoffman, Mr. Hoffman, Senator John Hoffman, and Mrs. Hoffman in Minnesota. You and the FBI and Minnesota state and local law enforcement officials caught the assassin within 40.
All right. Hold on here. Let's go ahead and get to the fast forward this a bit for you guys.
I want to ask you about the Epstein files. Have
He
you
talks so slow. He needs to fucking retire.
Have you seen the Epstein files?
I have not reviewed the entirety of it myself, but a good amount.
Bruh.
Yeah, no, he
Would it
hasn't.
be
He
fair
hasn't
to
read
say-
personally 100,000 fucking pages of documents. Like, come on, people.
Man, he better put that through Chat GPT or something. He better give me a good summary.
Wait, how many pages, Monty?
There's like 100 and something thousand is what's like the last
Yeah.
number that I heard, and they've
And how
released.
many
Like,
pages are being held in court under seal?
Well, hold on now. The oversight committee did release like was it 33,000?
33, something like 33,000.
Yeah, which Comer admitted 97. James Comer, the Republican head of the House Oversight Committee, admitted that 97% of that was already public. So,
yeah, that's true.
What is your point, Sid? What is your point?
It wasn't releasing because it was already public, almost 100%.
And you'd be bitching about that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
I would say
you're
this.
just fucking moving the goalposts on the argument.
Like to when they made that,
97% was already known.
Really?
They didn't release shit.
Yeah,
and
but let's
that's
be real
James
though.
Comer's words.
Let's be real. When they release it like that, that's for your average person to be able to get the story. Not everybody's gonna do that due diligence to go out there and find all the public information.
Go to
Remember, you
fucking
kind of had
Florida,
to
go
weave
fucking
that
different
together.
states and fucking do FOIA requests 500 different times. No, this is released outside of a FOIA request where anybody can go on the fucking FBI's website and read it. There's a difference.
Yeah, and the reason we learned nothing from it is because all of the shit they released was already known and already released.
So
All right.
97. Okay, whatever, dude. Like, what is your point in saying that? Your point is nothing other than to stir up controversy.
It is what it
And
is.
other than it was already released. That's my whole point. It was already known.
Good. Okay, congratulations. And my fucking walls are painted yellow.
The entirety of it myself, but a good amount.
Would it be fair to say that Mr. Epstein trafficked young women, including in some instances minors, for sex to himself?
That was specifically the allegations in the 2018 indictment in the Southern District of New York.
Okay. Who else did he traffic these young women to?
In terms of what the investigation, again, going back to 2008, Mr. Acosta, who limited the investigation and limited the search warrants and limited the parameters of the investigation, the only thing we are able to speak to publicly, because he was given a non-prosecution agreement by Mr. Acosta, is that first time period from, I believe, don't quote me on this, 97 to 2001-ish. And then when the Trump administration courageously reopened it.
Excuse me for interrupting, but I'm going to run out of time. You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file.
Okay. Now, President Trump has deferred to the FBI and the Department of Justice with respect to the Epstein records. He says it is your call about releasing them. And I understand that the department and the agency have decided to release them in cooperation.
And shout out to Vladstein. He said they feel like one sentence hidden is key to Trump. I know,
Yeah.
right?
It has all that document and then says, "Oh yeah, Trump had sex with all these kids."
Yep, right there.
Let's just remember
He's right behind that redacted line.
Senator Kennedy is a mega Republican, avid Trump supporter. So the guy we're listening to question him is a mega guy.
Yeah, I don't care where his politics lie. I care about getting to the information and fucking weeding through the political grandstanding and fucking asking questions. So yeah, he's a MAGA Republican, which makes sense as to why he's not just sitting there trying to bash him with postcards behind his head and fucking raise political money.
Oh yeah, you'll never see Kennedy do that.
So you're releasing them a little bit at a time. Is that correct?
We're releasing as much as we can, but we are limited by 3 different court orders and the department went back to each of those judges to waive those court orders or have them lifted, and each of those judges declined.
Will you release all of them,
My-
or at least as many
that-
as you can?
We will release everything.
Yo,
my personal opinion is he should just fucking ignore the fucking court orders and just fucking release them, so that people like Sid would fucking be happy and drop the issue. But we all know that even if they do release them, the goalposts are just going to move, and there's suddenly going to be more information that needs to be released and all this fun shit. Like, I honestly think they should just fucking WikiLeaks that shit and get it the fuck over with. But if he does that, then he's defying the Constitution.
Yeah.
You said there was how many pages of files?
The last time I heard it was like 110,000.
And how many have been released that were previously released?
33,000. Dude, stop
talking. What percentage of that wasn't?
That would be
roughly
released. That would be roughly 30%. Shut up, dude. Let me fucking talk. Answer a question. Let someone talk. That's how you have a conversation.
Hey, there's other people talking too. It's not just me.
No, it's just you. You're the only one talking.
No, someone else was also starting to talk. It wasn't just me. I wasn't interrupting you.
But all right, guys, all right.
And so part of the issue in this, if you fucking listen to him for anything other than trying to bash him, is there's 3 different courts that have ordered portions of it to not be released. Not to mention the non-prosecutorial contract that is within those 100,000 documents that cannot be released. Not to mention there's investigations actively ongoing in this matter that have documents relating to Epstein that cannot be released. So the fact
isn't Cash saying that? Why isn't Cash saying that? And also,
Because
how
he
many
can.
pages are under seal? He can't say that I can't comment on this because there's ongoing investigations.
He did just do that. He said there's 3 different.
No, he did not say that.
Run the tape back set.
Like
Fucking
this
10 seconds.
Religious war that the freaking.
All right, guys.
No, run the tape back 10 seconds and then tell me he didn't just say that.
All right, guys. All right, let's get right back to it. But I will run it back 10 seconds.
By 3 different court orders, and the department went back to each of those judges to waive those court orders or have them lifted, and each of those judges declined.
Will you release all of them, or at least as many as you can?
We will release everything we are legally permitted to do so. We are continuing to work with the House on the subpoena request. We have substantially complied with it, but we will continue to release whatever we are legally permitted to do so.
Okay. I strongly encourage you to do that. Cash, this issue is not going to go away. And I think the central question for the American people is this. They know that Epstein trafficked young women for sex to himself. They want to know who.
And shout out Ham. He said, "Do you think the victims were only trafficked to Epstein?" No, of course not. If not, then Patel is a liar, plain and simple. All victims are liars now. You know, here's the thing. I honestly don't believe that he just trafficked people to himself. I don't believe that. All the connections he had and all that good stuff. Well, Monty does.
I believe. Hold on. I believe he trafficked to himself and used his connections and fucking all this bullshit to avoid getting caught for 20 fucking years. It's not like he had a fucking convenience store full of fucking girls and said, "Oh, take your fucking pick."
No,
and
he trafficked those humans to himself and then let his friends come visit.
I mean, that could be true. I don't know. I just it feels overplayed at this point, and I will give Sid the credit that the fucking right, not Trump, the right, including Kash Patel, fucking politicized the absolute fuck out of this and led conspiracy theories and fucking all this shit. Now we're at this fucking point, and now they're fucking stuck with nothing. So I will concede that.
To be honest, it just seems like the private investigators know more than the FBI at this point.
And there's also the key information that, you know, the Biden administration had this shit for 4 fucking years. So who knows how fucking tainted the evidence is or has been destroyed.
Or Mossad blackmailer.
or Mossad blackmailer.
Okay.
I mean,
I didn't see, but did you watch the victim testimony with Thomas Massey, Ro Khanna, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, and all the victims of Epstein?
Yeah, we mean when they came out for the press briefing, yeah.
Where they said that Epstein liked to brag about Trump.
Honestly, they made a really good case.
Also,
they made a really good case because like a lot of the Epstein victims said that Trump, you're not even on it. We're not even trying to put your name on it. We just want you to release it.
And they said they were making their own list.
Sid, hold on. Let's look at this. Let's take politics out of this for a second and like give fucking the FBI, which is not just Kash Patel, give the FBI a little bit of credit that maybe if there are other fucking perverts and creeps out there that maybe, just maybe, they're trying to preserve a case against them so they don't fucking slip out like fucking Epstein did.
That's possible.
Well, what could they do?
Take politics out of it. Take how you feel about Kash Patel. Take how you feel about Donald Trump out of it.
I'm running this down with you. What could they do?
For the record, if any Republican,
they could keep the information, or sorry, keep what they have as close to the fucking vest as possible until they're ready to fucking literally kick in doors.
Wouldn't they already be doing that? I mean, what could the perpetrators do? What could the perpetrators do?
They could destroy evidence. They could destroy evidence. That like that's you don't let a person know that you're going to send a SWAT team to their house.
You don't think they already did that when he got arrested twice?
I don't know. I think these people are fucking creeps. And if you subscribe to the idea that Epstein kept a client list, like which I personally don't subscribe to, like he has a fucking book in his study that he's just.
I don't either. I do not either.
As a big dollar pimp.
So that's that. I try to take a step back from this when I evaluate something like this, and I can see the wheels and the gears turning in his head, and him the reason I believe the reason he's being subversive is, one, he's trying to navigate court orders and things that he can't say, and two, I believe they have investigations going onto the credible fucking people, and they want to, like you said, you can't just throw fucking names out there without evidence. He wants to gather the evidence that he can, and I believe there's a fourth component that some of the evidence may have been tampered with, so they have to fucking go through it and validate it. That's what I believe from a believing.
There's a way around all this legal stuff, and that is just giving them to Congress, which has the speech and debate clause, and they can read all this and expose all this on their own if they see it and choose to do so. But he has not given it to Congress. And Mike Johnson, real quick, sorry. Mike Johnson brought Congress to a close early, specifically to prolong a vote on releasing the Epstein files. And, later this month, we are going to see that discharge petition go through that Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna have spearheaded. And we'll see it go up to the Senate, and we'll see what senators vote on it and do not vote on it. And if it passes the House and passes the Senate, we will see it go up to Trump, and we will see if he does not release them.
I mean, he already signed an executive order to release them. You do know that, right? That was like day one.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did. It was one of the first, on the first day, he signed an executive order, or first or second day, one of the 8 days that he was fucking pushing out executive orders left and right. He absolutely signed an executive order to release all.
He does that every week.
Courts put a.
But no, you just said he didn't, though. Hold on. Be intellectually honest with yourself. He did sign an executive order saying release the Epstein files. So the executive branch,
he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He gave them wiggle room. He gave them wiggle room of
what wiggle room?
Same thing he said the whole time he was campaigning of, "Oh, there's credible stuff. There's not credible stuff. I don't know."
In fact, the district courts said you can't talk about some of this shit.
They blocked less than 1% of what the government has in the Epstein files.
Now, 1% is the big fucking problem.
No, because they haven't released 98% of it. They haven't released 99% of it. They haven't
So
released
this
shit
is
yet.
my
The
mistake. It
most
was
stuff
not.
that got
Hold
released
on,
about Epstein
Sid.
was
Sid.
during the Biden administration.
Sid. No, it wasn't. Sid.
Yes, it was.
They would
Stop.
release credible.
Hold on. How was it already released if it was fucking? Never mind. I'm not even going to address that.
Why did James Comer say? Why did James
Hold
Comer
on.
say
Let
that
me
97% was released?
Let me address the first thing you fucking got wrong. Here's a story from July 17th by fucking the BBC. Trump orders officials to release Epstein court documents after mounting pressure.
Court documents.
Based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all grand jury testimony subject to court approval, he said. It is unclear if Trump has authorized the public release of these documents. Such action would typically require court approval. U.S. President.
Do you understand that there's a difference between grand jury testimony and the Epstein files? Do you understand that? Yes or no?
He said, "Oh my God."
Grand jury testimonies within it. Okay, all right, guys. Let's keep it pushing.
Anything pertinent to the fucking investigation, release
No,
it.
he said grand jury testimony. You just read it.
All right, guys. Hold
No.
on. Guys. All right, let's keep it pushing. Now, let's keep it pushing. We'll go because we spend too long on the conversation. Let's keep it going.
Who, if anyone else, he trafficked these young women to? And that's a very fair question. I want to know that answer. And I think you're going to have to do more to satisfy the American people's understandable curiosity in that regard.
Mr. Chairman, may I just respond to that? I agree, Senator. And what we have done, and just to remind folks, the Epstein case files existed in the two prior administrations, in the Obama administration and the Biden administration, and they didn't release anything. And there was President Trump in the first administration that renewed charges against Mr. Epstein. And I know it's a little complicated to understand, but what exists in the Epstein case files was a direct result of the limited search warrants from 2006 and 7, which hamstrung future investigations because of the non-prosecution agreement. And multiple administrations had the opportunity to look at the entirety of that case file and recommend prosecutions against anyone that was trafficked under Mr. Epstein and anyone that participated in that trafficking. And the only person to bring charges was the prior administration against Mr. Epstein. Now, I am not saying that others were not trafficked and others were not involved. What I am telling you is that based on the information we have, and we have continuously and publicly asked for the public to come forward with more information. If there is, we'll look at it. But based on credible information we have released.
All right, go ahead.
Hold on.
He just said, he just said, I'm not saying others were not trafficked and people were not trafficked to others. But he literally just told it was either Cory Booker or Adam Schiff that the only people that Epstein trafficked to were himself. So that is a contradiction.
Nah, man, no, not really. Remember, no, he stays on the stance of there has been no credible evidence. He stays on that stance.
No,
so he never says definitively that there is only Epstein only trafficked to himself. He says
he literally said Epstein only trafficked to himself.
No, he said due to the evidence available. Due to the evidence available. He's very careful when he talks.
No, he said there's no evidence. He said there's no evidence.
Oh my God.
To show otherwise.
So do you know the difference between having evidence to prove something and knowing something happened, Sid? Do you know that difference?
Yes.
Okay. That's what he's fucking threading the needle of right now. Look through.
So why would you say absolutely not?
Because
he only
no evidence to support it. Why would he say something when there's no evidence to support it?
God damn.
Like
he said he only trafficked to himself.
Let me fucking break it down real fucking shotgun style for you. I just shared something on the StreamYard if you want to put it up. It's an FBI memo from July after Trump ordered the documents being released.
Wait. Where's it at?
It's in the StreamYard.
I don't
all credible information.
But hold on here.
And the information that the Department of Justice and the FBI never releases is information on investigations that are not credible. And we don't release the names of victims who weren't credible. But in the same time, we don't release the names of victims.
Nobody
who were
ever
credible.
said release
And
the
so
names of victims.
That's by law.
Yes,
And
yeah,
so the
the
information
Democrats
we are
have.
releasing now
No,
is
they have
historic,
not.
and it is also
They
to the
said
maximum
release
capacity
all of the
law
files
allows.
you
And I
have.
know that's not going to
No,
satisfy
the legislation
many,
they've tried to
people.
pass specifically left out the names of victims.
All right, guys. All right. Hold on here. Got to a little break.
But if they wanted it done right, then the investigation from its origination should have been done right. And he should not have been given a get out of jail free card to do jail on the weekends for 12 hours a day. And he should have been investigated fully for the entirety of his crime and criminal enterprise, not just from 1997 to 2001.
Senator Blumenthal.
And all right, guys. Now, let's give.
Hey,
all right,
Set.
go
It's
ahead.
on. If you go into StreamYard, like you're gonna allow me into the chat, it's under the same thing. You have to allow it into the thing. It'll show it up on screen.
Let's see here. Oh wait, hold on. You mean your boom?
There we go. Yep. Now,
all right.
Let's read this out together. The releasing of Epstein include large volume of images of Epstein, images and videos of victims who are either minors or appear to be minors, and over 10,000 downloaded videos and images of illegal child sex material, blah, 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 blah. Nowhere in there does it say that there are people. Oh, you just moved past it. Let me go back.
Hold on. I don't really have too much control of that one. But
oh, was that me?
Yeah.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah.
Anyway, basically it goes all of that. The systemic review revealed no incriminating quote-unquote client list. There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. So in this memo, he's also saying, if Kash Patel released this, I don't remember if Kash Patel released it, that no client list. Considering with prior disclosure, the review confirmed that Epstein harmed over 1,000 victims. Each suffered unique trauma. Sensitive information relating to these victims is intertwined throughout the materials. This includes specific details such as victim names, likenesses, and physical descriptions, places of birth, associates, blah, 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 employment history. One of our biggest priorities is combating child. And then it goes on and on and on about fucking like normal political drama.
Yeah, just to be clear, Set, and you can look it up if you want to, but the petition to release the files from the House specifically details and lays out and bans them from releasing victim information and
right. But did you not just hear where
so none of this matters? So none of this matters. None of what he's saying matters because that wasn't
wait, what
is asking to be released. They weren't asking to release
what
victim
part of
names
is
and
intertwined
child
in all of
pornography.
the documents that have not been released did you not fucking understand?
I understood all of what you said. All of what that memo said.
Okay, so Sid, I understand your argument is that nobody called for releasing all the victims' names, but the problem is though when you guys talk about release
child
the list
pornography
or release the files, well, what do you guys think you're asking for in whole? You know that's kind of what you're asking for in whole.
90%
No, you
of
can
that is
you can
gonna be the
redact
victims'
that.
names.
You can redact that. We've all seen government files that get redacted all over the place.
Yeah, but if they redacted,
So
I
what
mean,
are you looking for then? If you don't want the
Exactly.
redact, or if you don't want the files with fucking everything redacted out of it?
Because
Oh, you think the files are just victim names? You think the
somebody
files are
correct me
just
on this?
victim names?
Hold on, guys. Somebody correct me on this. Can they even get prosecuted if we can't even talk about the victim's name or anything? Like, oh, you are being like pretty much sent to jail for you're being prosecuted for raping.
It's not even about them getting prosecuted.
names?
It's public interest, and people wanted these things released way before Trump ever became president. And like Monty was saying, the entirety of the right basically was also calling for the exact same thing I'm calling for right now. And it feels fucking weird to be told I'm crazy for wanting the same thing that I heard everyone
No.
that fucking voted for Trump that I know to call for the same thing that I'm calling for now.
That's not
Here's
what I
the-
called for.
Here's the thing.
My question to you, Sid, though, and this is more of a moral and ethics question. Why is it just now that you're calling for it and not fucking for the past 5 years?
Did you know me for the past 5 years, brother? Do you know what I've been calling for? Like, what are you saying?
Well, can you give us an indication what you were calling for?
Yeah, I was told when Trump got elected and said he was going to release the Epstein files, I said, great. That might be the one thing I appreciate that comes from his administration.
What are you
If those things come out.
in the
Were
Epstein?
you on lives grilling Biden that he wasn't releasing them?
I was never on live with Biden. I don't know what you're talking
About
about.
Biden.
Hold on now,
Live
hold on.
about Biden, grilling him on why he hasn't released them.
Hold on, guys. We kind of moved away from the conversation here because Sid is honestly mad about the whole, pretty much us saying that they're calling for the release of victims'
I'm just
names.
saying
but-
his anger and his rage is placed in a political nature and not actually a nature of getting to the bottom of the issue.
And I'm saying that's an assumption.
The left.
And
Actually,
you just met me in like the
take
last
Sid out
couple
of
of
this.
months.
I'm talking about the left. I'm talking about the left in general. It is Democrats in Congress. Fucking Adam Schiff is not fucking working for the same thing you're working for, Sid. I'll take you at your word and say that you care about this genuinely. Adam Schiff doesn't give two fucks. He's talking about he's political.
All these people bought the official narrative. All these people bought the official narrative and were told that that's a lie. And they didn't pull up a stink when Trump and his administration said that it was a lie and that they'd release their stuff.
We didn't want to see
until they came out and said, actually, the official narrative is right. And there is nothing to see here.
Information that could possibly make somebody a victim.
What? Sorry, I didn't hear you. Sorry. What did you say?
I said we weren't asking to see anything that would oust any victims.
Nobody's doing that now. Nobody is doing that now.
And how much of that, you know how these documents are put together, these quote unquote files, is first they get a whole bunch of evidence from the location, which started off at like 22,000 files. A lot of these files are just emails, purchase receipts from Amazon, your email file.
Yeah, and the public interest is so great at this point that they should just release that. Why would they hide basic shit like that doesn't incriminate anybody, that doesn't fuck with anybody?
True.
And especially because it's what they promise.
I only got 10% through of how these files are made, and I've already had to throw away 90% of it because it's email garbage. Now, all the court cases, every single hearing, everything that happens, every bit of paperwork where a police officer says, yes, this evidence was in my custody, what shelf the evidence was on in the locker room, so to speak, what file it was in, all of this evidence, any Senate hearings that are done on it, every bit of this information is cataloged as part of the quote unquote file.
Okay.
All right, guys. And all right,
it's files relating to Epstein. So
A lot
fucking
of people talking about it.
Files pertaining to Epstein.
Files there are.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead
Is
and
the
keep it
argument that
pushing.
there's too many files? There's too many files to release?
All right.
No, that's not the argument. The argument is they're fucking irrelevant to the fucking actual the content of the crime.
Okay, well,
All
we
right,
want
guys.
them all. We want them all. Okay, but
All right. I get it. We want them all. We want them all. I get it. Trust me. I want them all too. But wait, what the heck? You got the double feedback. Who? All right, guys.
Brian, I want to start with you because you reached out to the FCC chairman Carr. What did he tell you?
And he sent me the gifts that we will put on screen, Anderson.
Is that me? Let's see here.
You there?
Yes, I am actually. Okay. Whoops. Sorry.
It's a picture from the old NBC sitcom The Office of the stars of The Office celebrating some ridiculous moment on the show. So he is celebrating Disney's capitulation here. And I think we should step back and remember.
Wait a
Disney
minute. Wait, hold on.
started
Wait a minute, Brian.
We're putting this on the screen, and I just gotta. We can't. This is you. You said this is a tweet you sent. You said I asked the FCC for a response, and the chairman of the FCC sent you this video.
Correct. I then replied and I said, do you have anything quotable I can use? But let me give you the context of that, Anderson. Carr and I have been in touch for months as I've been reporting on the FCC. He's been very aggressive about using the media to try to pressure companies like Disney. I remember he did this right before Christmas. He sent me a letter that he was sending to Bob Iger, the head of Disney, trying to pressure Disney over something else. And earlier tonight, Carr texted me celebrating the fact that Nexstar, the station owners you mentioned, who had already pulled Kimmel, he was celebrating and thanking Nexstar for taking that action. Disney was the first company to...
Being trolled by the FCC is hilarious, though. They sent you a gift. It's like, really,
That's
guys?
unprofessional as fuck, but I'm okay.
I'm on for it.
Yeah, it's just a rights violation. It's just a fucking rights
It's
violation.
not a rights violation, Sid. He's not in
How's it
jail.
a rights
He didn't get
violation?
fined.
I
He
think
got fired.
Monty, you agree that that it doesn't just take you being jailed for you to have your rights violated, right?
I said fine or imprisonment is the only thing a law has.
Those are the only rights violations, huh?
Yes.
Okay, what if someone took your driver's license away? Would that be a rights violation?
So driving is a privilege, not a right, Sid.
Okay, that wouldn't be. What if they did it for your speech?
For my speech?
Yeah. What if they said
driving is a privilege, not a right, Sid?
So if the government came and said Monty is dangerous, he shouldn't be allowed to have a driver's license or drive, because based on things that you have said, you would say that, oh, my rights aren't being violated here.
Driving is a privilege, not a right, Sid.
Okay, go ahead and answer the question.
I can. If somebody said that he said he's going to use his car to run over a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
No, what if they just said that he seems dangerous from the speech I've seen him say online, the communities he's in, and I don't think he should be behind the wheel, so we're revoking his driver's license. That isn't a rights violation?
No, where in the Constitution does it say you have the right to drive, Sid?
Hold on, I think he's trying to make a freedom of speech argument and being
He's
punished
not.
for freedom of speech.
I am. I'm saying that is viewpoint discrimination. That is using your speech to take away, privileges, and you consider driving a privilege, but I don't think most people would accept if they had their fucking driver's license taken away based on their speech. I don't think you would, especially if Trump wasn't in office right now and it was Biden and the Biden government.
Well, hold on now, Sid. I can explain this better for you because within the conduct of driving a car, if you have a lot of traffic violations, you're going to lose your license. Well, in the terms of this right here, remember, he's a talk show host. He spreads a message on television for many to see. Him spreading that type of message is irresponsible, just like you operating a car. I mean, under the influence is irresponsible. Thus, punishment
what message
will be
did he
handed
spread
out.
that was so bad for us all to hear that he shouldn't be allowed?
He was gaslighting America, who's already fucking inflamed, supporting a fucking murderer.
How did he support the murder? What did he say?
By diminishing the gravity of what he did. Trying to say that it was a right-wing extremist, which is lying, trying to inflame the country.
That's not lying. He didn't have the information we have now.
Are you going to ask a question, or are you going to ask and then fucking keep talking?
Well, now I would say you're lying by the same thing. He didn't have the information we have now. He was just saying his opinion.
That it was a right-winger? So let me ask you this. When's the last time a right winger was dating a tranny and shooting conservatives?
Have you ever heard of Nick Fuentes?
Shooting conservatives? No, I haven't.
Oh, the last time that a right winger was shooting conservatives. I think that was Crooks. You know, the other file that we won't get.
the guy that gave to fucking Blue Sky.
the other file that we won't see the FBI release. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, got it, right? Why won't they release those files on him?
So, fucking, I don't know. Fucking maybe.
Good question, huh?
Huh?
That's a good question, right?
What does that have to do with fucking Jimmy Kimmel said that got him fucking canceled? That's a left.
No, that's not the question you asked. That's not the question you asked. You said, when's the last time a right winger shot a right winger? And you know what I'd say? It's when the
Thomas
last time
Crooks wasn't a
Trump
fucking
got
right winger.
fucking.
He voted Democrat. You fucking.
No, he did not. He was a registered Republican.
He donated Democrat.
Did he? Are you thinking the
Yes.
other? Are you
No.
thinking the other Trump assassin?
Crooks.
No, we're talking about Thomas Matthew Crooks, who shot him in fucking Butler, Pennsylvania, dude.
Who do you donate to?
Hold on.
Act Blue.
Act Blue. That's the name of it. Not Blue Sky. Blue Sky is the fucking social media platform. It was Act Blue, which is
Can we verify that? I never heard that. I know what Act Blue is.
Of course,
but I
you never heard it
that.
because you fucking live in an echo chamber, bud.
Well,
you
I'm
fucking
asking
probably
for it to
believed Jimmy
be.
Kimmel when he said it was a right winger.
All
I
right,
didn't
guys.
hear
Hold on now. I
about
got all
Jimmy Kimmel
information
until
right
you guys
here.
got him fired. Fucking
Alrighty. Let me go ahead and give you this quick little information here. Thomas Matthews Crook, 20, attempted the assassination of Donald Trump. Well, attempted to assassinate Donald Trump. He was a registered Republican. However, when he was 17 on January 20th, 2021, the day Joe Biden was inaugurated, he made a small donation of $15 via Act Blue to the Progressive Turnout Project, which supports Democratic-leaning causes. So, hey.
When he was 17, he did that?
Yeah, 17 on Joe Biden's inauguration, pretty much.
You don't see a lot of 17-year-olds do that.
I mean,
that's interesting.
Nowadays you do.
If they're radical.
Radical is donating to Joe Biden.
I mean, you're right. That doesn't make him a radical. But wait, whatever he learned whatever he picked up in that time, it radicalized him enough to want to shoot Trump. But all right, so shout out to Vlasting. So I'm surprised Sid hasn't given you ulcers, Sid. No, don't worry, man. I'm hanging in there. Sid ain't that bad. And shout out to my man H3I. He says, so according to you and Monty, Lee Harvey Oswald killed Kennedy, Muslims did 9/11, and Israel accidentally attacked the U.S. liberty. And I'm just like, God damn, you got all of it today. All right, and shout out to my man James Sally. He says Crooks was also a part of a BlackRock commercial, which is also strange as well. And both of his parents
probably
were
saw a fucking thing on
psychology.
Craigslist. You probably saw like a ad to be an extra on Craigslist in some commercial. Like,
what's the point?
It is what it is. It is what it is. No, I just said he had ties.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna head out. I gotta go to bed. Good talking to y'all.
Sleep well.
All right, man. See you, Sid. And shout out Sid.
Hold on. This idea that Republicans shoot Republicans is fucking hilarious to me. Like, fucking what? Like, they're that. Is he really that delusional?
Well, a lot of them are trying to lean on that angle. Hey, Seth, have you seen what 50 Cent said?
About who?
I'll try and find or look up 50 Cent's newest post. Anyways, 50 Cent.
Hold on 1 second. I need to fucking address Ham that keeps fucking spamming. Give us the quote where Kimmel said he was a right winger.
Hold on. Whoa, Monty, you don't need to do it. Let's just play
the fucking video. That yeah.
He said MAGA.
Let's have a little fun.
The second largest city in our bitterly divided nation, where, like the rest of the country, we're still trying to wrap our heads around the senseless murder of the popular podcaster and conservative activist Charlie Kirk yesterday, whose death has amplified our anger, our differences. And I've seen a lot of extraordinarily vile responses to this from both sides of the political spectrum. Some people are cheering this, which is something I won't ever understand. We had another school shooting yesterday in Colorado, the 100th one of the year. And with all these terrible things happening, you would think that our president will at least make an attempt to bring us together, but he didn't. President Obama did. President Biden did. Presidents Bush and Clinton did. President Trump did not. Instead, he blamed Democrats for their rhetoric. The man who told a crowd of supporters that maybe the Second Amendment people should do something about Hillary Clinton. The man who said he wouldn't mind if someone shot through the fake news media. The man who unleashed a mob on the Capitol and said Liz Cheney should face 9-barrel shooting at her for supporting his opponent blames the radical left for their rhetoric. And then the man who on 9/11, 2001, bragged that his building was now the tallest building in New York, which wasn't even true, by the way, visited the Pentagon for a 9/11 memorial, which, believe it or not, he made a bigly improvement over last year when he showed up at a 9/11 remembrance at a fire station in Lower Manhattan with a 9/11 conspiracy theorist who claims it was an inside job. This year, he brought his wife, which was better for sure. And I have to,
these days, that's not seeming too far from the truth anymore.
You know what's crazy?
I don't know what's going on, but these.
What's up?
So we're a minute into this, and instead of saying, condolences for fucking Charlie Kirk, it's Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad.
Immediately. It's like, well, why didn't Trump do this? Why didn't Trump do that? It's like, whoa. Why is everything on Trump? But why didn't you guys understand that, we need you to calm down your rhetoric. This isn't about Trump. Like, and it's like, I don't know why, but you're trying to make this rhetoric about Trump.
Now let it keep playing.
Those two lovebirds, they seem to be closer than ever. I mean, if you see during the ceremony, in a tender moment, Donald reaches over and gives her a little tap. He taps her like he's hoping ketchup would come out. And she didn't really respond. Maybe that's their signal for my diaper is full. I don't know. And then it was off to New York for a Yankees game. Slow DiMaggio made an appearance at Yankee Stadium after an appearance last week at the U.S. Open. It's all part of his getting booed in public tour. Former Mayor Rudy Giuliani was supposed to go to the Yankee game with him to sit with the president, but he accidentally showed up at a Yankee candle store. So Uncle Scam, though, he's all over the place right now. Last month, Trump... He fired the commissioner of the Bureau of Labor and Statistics because he didn't like the job numbers she released. So he replaced her, and now we have a new round of numbers. And guess what? Those numbers are bad, too. We added 900,000 fewer jobs than projected. I wonder, do you think they fight over who has to give them the news? Like, no, you go. I'm not bringing them these numbers. But say what you like about him. He surrounds himself with the best people. They had hearings this morning.
I can kind of see why the left is so misinformed, because everything he said is honestly incorrect. No, he didn't fire the Bureau of Labor Statistics because he didn't like the numbers. No, she's had wrong numbers for a while now. She has consistently wrong numbers and always having to have dramatic revisions. And those 911,000 jobs, those stretch all the way back into the Biden administration. He left that out for some reason, though.
Yep. To confirm some new Trump nominees, including our next ambassador to the Bahamas, which is former NFL running back and disgraced former Senate candidate Herschel Walker. You may remember Herschel Walker, when he ran for Senate in Georgia, was plagued by a series of scandals and gaffes, including an admission that he fathered multiple children out of wedlock and allegations that he paid for 2 abortions despite his strong pro-life stance. So today, he sat before the Foreign Affairs Committee and the Honorable Senator Ted Cruz.
He is a man of great faith, discipline, dependability, and resilience. Indeed, when it comes to discipline, one of the things I've learned about Herschel is he doesn't eat breakfast and he doesn't eat lunch.
That's right. He can't figure out how to use a fork. So Herschel is not what you might call a scholar. Let's just say if it wasn't for football, there's a chance Herschel might not have gotten into college.
Hey, yo.
Science said man came from apes. Did it not? Well, this was interesting, though. If that is true.
A liberal sitting here like calling a black guy dumb is just hilarious to me at a certain point. It's kind of funny because, you know, if he was a liberal, y'all wouldn't be saying this about him. But since he's not, I mean, I guess racist jokes is fair game. And I'm all for racist jokes. I just like to be consistent. You feel me? Hey, when we have racist jokes, hey, we're consistent across the board, though. And here's the thing. We still get called racist and all this good fascist and all this crazy stuff. What is this? Like, what is this, guys? He's pretty much just calling a black guy dumb because he's on the Republican side. Like, you know, I kind of see where you guys get this from. You guys are unoriginal. A lot of you liberals are unoriginal. I mean, you guys just kind of copy what your favorite, I guess, political comedian says. At this point, y'all don't even say what y'all political pundits are saying. Y'all going after the comedians, the most unserious of them.
Let it play,
Nah,
because I need to get this fucking point across the ham.
Go ahead.
50 Cent is under fire right now. He said on social media, he said, "Want to know how I feel about this? I don't know, but I do know when it's a good time to shut the fuck up."
Facts. I mean, smart man. Shout out my man Vance says, bring up what made Kimmel famous, using women. Ooh, shit. I know, right? Hey, it's kind of funny though. When Kimmel does it, I'm gonna just say when Kimmel does it, it's cool though. But God forbid Kill Tony does this. Oh, that's a huge problem. And here's the thing, I don't mind this man making jokes like this. Not at all. It's just that I know if a right-winger did this, y'all be looking at me like, see, Set, see, they don't like you. This is what they want to say about your kind, Set, you see? So keep that same attitude here.
I haven't been able to stop thinking about it for years since you said it. So with that kind of brain power sloshing around in his head, it was time for the H-man to answer some questions.
What policy approaches, in your judgment, should we pursue to help the Bahamas resist Chinese pressure?
Oh, this should be good.
One of the things that I feel that I would do to get China to is continue to work with the Bahamian people to make sure that we become the partner of choice, and at the same time work with a lot of the American companies to come to the Bahamas to see the key investments that they can make down in the Bahamas to combat against China, because I think they're coming down with a lot of money.
Though, I will admit.
Well, maybe sports don't prepare you for life, you know? I feel like we could just send him to a Margaritaville and tell him he's in the Bahamas.
Oh.
Welcome, Ambassador Walker. Can I get you a double cheeseburger in paradise? Oh, right, you don't eat lunch. Never mind. If confirmed, Walker would join another former football player in the
Oh, my God.
Last month, he named Hall of Fame linebacker Lawrence Taylor.
And shout out to Hellbad. He says, speaking of racist jokes, how do you tell a black woman she is pregnant? You stick fried chicken in her and whoa, and it comes out clean and she's pregnant. Whoa. Hellbad. Yo, you know what? F it. I'm just gonna read it how it is. All right, speaking of racist jokes, how do you tell if a black woman is pregnant? You stick fried chicken in her pussy, and if it comes out clean, she's pregnant. Well,
there goes your ad suitability for the night.
Yep, there goes AdSense. It's going out the window.
News Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, though that seemed to be news to Lawrence.
I'm just proud to be on this team. I don't know why. I don't know what we're supposed to be doing, but I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve you. Okay, so I'm going to do the best I can for as long as I can. Thank you very much.
What? Well, at least LT's honest. He's like, I have no idea what I'm doing here, but here I am. You know, down in Florida, there's always something stupid going on. No state provides us with more nonsense. And with that said, it's time to check in on This Week in Florida.
This is Shirley Pasamanik, 70 years young and just 90 pounds. She says she's still recovering after a fight to save her dog's life. Her 14-year-old dog, Sparky, suddenly mauled by a pit bull.
I couldn't open his mouth. I'm 90-pound, 70-year-old woman. You know what I mean?
He is right.
So I bit him on the back of the neck.
That's right. She bit the pit bull back, which actually worked.
I had to. I'm 91. I'm like 91 pounds.
You 91 pounds of gangster. That's what you are. I am pit bulls on the neck. You different.
Well, you know what? At least she's finally eating. Right? I mean,
they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats.
Okay, that's funny.
They're eating the pets.
That's right. What happened to that? Did they? I guess they stopped eating the pets. Florida isn't the only weird state, by the way. We have some characters here in California ourselves. Just over the hill from us in Burbank, we've got humans who, while they might not be biting dogs, they are acting like them.
New tonight, the so-called Burbank butt sniffer is headed to jail.
Hey, I remember this guy.
For sniffing a woman's backside in a Burbank store.
Yeah.
Well, what do you expect from the Burbank butt sniffer? It's right in the title of his name. It's what's next? Are you going to arrest Cedric for entertaining? In Washington, lawmakers are still squabbling over these Epstein files. Republican senators blocked a motion to force a vote on making the Department of Justice release the files. The vote went 51-49. If you're keeping score, Republicans spent the last 4 years demanding the release of these Epstein files, and the last 4 months screaming, do not release these Epstein files. It's very suspicious. As far as I see, there are only 2 plausible reasons for refusing to release the files. Either Trump's in it or they are. There's nothing else. I think part of the reason these files are so tantalizing is we know literally everything else about Donald Trump. We know what he eats. We know what he thinks. We know what he's tweeting from the toilet. There are tell-all books and tell-all books about the tell-all.
Wait, I don't even know what Trump eats. Y'all do? Because shoot, I don't.
He eats McDonald's.
He eats McDonald's, but tell me, Jimmy Kimmel does not know how to think strategically like Trump does. That's for damn sure.
Trump don't need no McDonald's, man. He throw that mug to the side, whip out the filet mignon, and what y'all talking about? But
it's a filet Mc.
Hey, I don't know. I just can't imagine. I don't think Trump's actually eating that McDonald's. But hey, it is what it is.
But these files are the one thing that's still a mystery when it comes to the world's most famous orangutan. So, which means there must be something truly crazy in them, like video of him nude riding a jet ski, or maybe Polaroids of a crooked little mushroom stump. I don't know. I'm just asking questions, okay? I mentioned last night that in response to the backlash from the MAGAverse, Cracker Barrel, not only did they change their logo back, they've decided to pump the brakes on plans to renovate their restaurants, which is a big win, not just for their inexplicably angry customers, but also for one very specific small business.
The woke Cracker Barrel rebrand is officially canceled, which is great news for us at the Things on Restaurant Walls where...
Alrighty. I see where the slight entertainment's at, but then I also see where y'all get y'all wild rhetoric from this guy Kimmel. Well,
hold on. No, because that wasn't... Hold on.
I mean, that's the thing. I ain't hear nothing too bad besides in the beginning. Like, that was it of him trying to say that, oh, Trump should say something about it. He should sit there and what was it? Like, quell the fires, or what was it? Turn down the volume or whatever. I'm just like, hold on. Was it one of you guys that shot Kirk? Like, maybe you guys should come out and try to, turn y'all rhetoric down or turn down the fires or whatever you guys were trying to say Trump should do. Like, I don't know. Take your own advice.
Hold on.
Yeah,
let me share this one with you because this is where he actually says it. Copy the link.
While you get that done.
No. It's right here.
All right, let me just read this.
Cam won't shut his fucking mouth.
All right, I got you. So, all right, let me go ahead and get out the super chat real quick. He said there is no Democrat side or Republican side. There is only Israel side. God damn it, Asher, you can't help yourself. But I do appreciate the support. And I will say this. Hey, apparently Charlie Kirk was waking up to, whatever you're about to touch on. You know me. I'm not going to touch on that tonight. Trust me, when the episode or when the time comes, you know me, I'm all about it, but not tonight. Now,
there you go.
Monty was let's see here. Perfect. Let me go ahead and pull that up real quick.
I had to find it real quick, so it's not from the gym. It's not from the show. It's a clip from the show. But Ham fucking is going on and on and on about how he didn't blame fucking MAGA or didn't blame conservatives, didn't blame the right. Here it is.
Oh, it's Crowder's. Even better. Even better.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. You can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years.
Hey, is he right behind an aerial vehicle where he may not have heard the question?
Old.
Pause.
And you're at the first.
Pause. And now he goes, I know what he said, Monty. MAGA was trying to say it was anyone but one of them, which is true. It was not anyone. As soon as they bring the fucking, just by virtue of it being Charlie Kirk, we know who it was. Like, come on.
I mean, you would think it would be, well, as you say, common sense.
He said he specifically said, MAGA's trying to pretend it's anybody but them. Like, that's completely laughable. That's the first fucking clip.
All right, well, let's go ahead and replay real quick then.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. You can see how hard the president is taking this.
Run that one more time so that we can hear it again.
Sir, personally, how are you?
So that was the insensitive comment, pretty much. Is that him trying to pass this guy off on us?
The whole show
But
was.
Let's be real though. We were dealing with this since day one of them. As soon as it almost felt like as soon as I came on, the first thing I heard was, "Oh, this was you guys, right?" I'm like, bro, there's no way. There's no way you guys really believe that. There's no way. Like, you guys really had to do the craziest of mental gymnastics. Like I said, Simone Biles level mental gymnastics to get to that. I'm telling you that right now.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. You can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years.
Hey, is he right behind an aerial vehicle where he may not have heard the question?
He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction.
And you're at the first stage of leftist grief, lying. I want you to see the worst news take ever. So yesterday, the prosecuting attorney released the text conversation between the awful terrorist, murderer, assassin, Tyler Robinson, and his gay trans boyfriend roommate, Lance Twiggs. Just to be clear, the left is not only going to try and gaslight you into believing that this guy was right wing, but also that he was heterosexual because his boyfriend was claiming that he was going to transition. This is a left-wing terrorist who's very gay. Here are some.
I wish I would have said that. Oh my God. Can you imagine the Dems trying to sell? Well, look, he's a transitioning male. He's trying to be a female. So really, that means Tyler's straight. Tyler's gay. That's why I'm standing on he's gay because, well, let's be real. One, he's dating a guy, and even if that guy wants to become a woman, Tyler's still gay. I'm sorry, guys.
And again, all of this, none of this is to make an intellectual argument that the shooter's Republican. Remember this. None of this is to make an intellectual argument that the shooter was a Republican or a right winger. All of this is 100% to deflect the attention from the fucking creeps on the internet celebrating and to defend them and to give them some sort of ability to sleep at night. That's all they want to do is feel better about themselves celebrating his death, which, in my opinion, is celebrating violence
and emotional damage. But honestly, though, if they'd have really tried to sell it to us that he was straight because he's dating a transgender woman, oh my God. I don't think I could have done it.
No, they believe that. They believe that part. They believe their own delusions, which is scary. That's what makes you insane.
Oh, Lord, that'd have been crazy.
Well, I mean, the
Robinson writes, I am still okay, my love. Told you, gay. But I am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. The gay lover boy responds, you weren't the one who did it, right? 4 exclamation marks, almost as though they planned this to try and remove any type of culpability from the lover. But that's just speculation.
Question marks, not exclamation marks.
Oh, sorry, question marks. You can admonish me. I'm sorry. I've had enough of this hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out, referring to Charlie Kirk. As right wing does, just so you know. As right wingers do, they kill the guy who sits down at a table for being hateful. And just so you know, the left still believes that this was a conservative, a Republican. That's how evil the left is today. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence, going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Remember how I was engraving bullets? Hey, guys, remember how we told you that there were engraved bullets and the media said we were lying? To trust them, the same media who told you this guy was right wing. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Join Rumble Premium Mug Club. We can't do any of it without you, just so you know. Millions upon millions in legal fees and millions upon millions in security because the media tells you that we're liars when we are telling you the truth.
Man, that's tough.
And the more of you there are, the more UW saving bullets. The gay lover boy said, well, Robinson, they're both gay lover boys. The effing messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke. Delete this exchange. You are all I worry about, love. Then Twig said, I am much more worried about you. I would be much more worried about, obviously, Charlie Kirk, the family of Charlie Kirk. I'd also be much more worried about everyone in this room and everyone else out there who shares Charlie Kirk's opinions, which, by the way, would be pretty moderate. And I'd certainly be worried about people who may have even more right-wing views than Charlie Kirk. I would be worried more for anyone who goes out in public and expresses an opinion peacefully. Because you get killed for doing that, and you get assaulted. Now, the worst take, I told you, the worst take ever in the news is ABC's Matt Gutman, who called this exchange and relationship, quote, touching. It's touching.
We have seen an alleged murder with such specific text messages about the alleged murder weapon, where it was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate.
Yes, it was a transmantic love story. It was just so romantic,
it was very
guys.
touching. Are you fucking serious? So you'll humanize the fucking monster, but you won't humanize the fucking victim? Are you fucking serious?
Like, Monty, I'm just surprised you didn't see the Romeo and Juliet like story in there, just with trans people and a gun and assassination.
Oh, we should let them go so they could be in love and kill more people.
I mean, come on, Monty, have a heart. Like it's such a beautiful story.
Let's let them go and let's drop Trump's Secret Service details so we can get Trump next.
Yeah, and then they'll live happily ever after while we're all here with
emotional damage.
Well, that's how they like it.
Portrait into this relationship between the suspect's roommate and the suspect himself, with him repeatedly calling his roommate who is transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love. So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances of this case.
Are
and
you serious? He killed him. He killed him. He didn't jeopardize his life. He took his life.
Very interesting. And
nah, it is crazy how he's framing this right now.
So on one hand, we have this poor misunderstood tranny and his gay lover, and on the other hand, we have this guy that had his life put in danger.
Bruh.
Not brutally assassinated in front of 3,000 people. No, his life was endangered, or And on the other side, it's quite poetic, quite romantic.
Oh, go ahead, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's really, is he seriously trying to humanize a murderer right now?
I mean,
yeah,
right now. He's
I don't know what to say about it. That's all I hear is he's trying to humanize a murderer.
I know, right? Like, trust me, I'm drawing in a blank right now. I was like, huh.
And Tyler's humanity's lost.
Like, I'm so lost. All I can really do is joke about it. It's just like, huh. So it's a romantic trans love story. And we should focus on that instead of the assassination, guys. At the assassination, we're missing out on a beautiful love story here, guys. Like, pretty much.
Press conference, David.
Now do Hitler's dog. He was loving. Like Norm had a bit about that. Yeah. What does that mean? Osama bin Laden was nice to children. So, his roommate, who was transitioning, say boyfriend. Say boyfriend. Gay love. You know why they don't say that? An aggravating circumstance. The family watching. Think about that for a second. Did he just say aggravating circumstance? I believe that's the word he used. Can someone play? It was midway through. He said aggravating circumstance that children were there. Play it again.
The attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances of this case. And on the other hand,
a legal term.
Stop. Yeah, aggravating circumstance. Yeah, but he's not a lawyer. He's a reporter. And he used the word touching, which is not a legal term, meaning he can use flowery language. Aggravating circumstance. Roommate. Hey, kids watched their father brutally assassinated by a terrorist bleed out, and his daughter allegedly wanted to run to her dad, but had to have explained to her that she couldn't go to daddy because daddy's not there anymore. And you say aggravating circumstance?
And shout out Drum King. Say, so the left is upset that someone was fired for speaking his mind, but cheer for Kirk to be taken out. Cheer for Kirk's life to be taken for speaking his mind is crazy. You're right, bro. It's the hypocrites. You know, it's funny. It's crazy. I was thinking that, but I did not say it out loud for some reason because I'm like, hold on. You're getting mad about Kimmel losing his job for speaking his mind and all that good stuff, but you were just cheering. You guys were just cheering for a guy. Not all of you guys on the left, but some of you guys were cheering about this man losing his life for speaking.
Here's the thing. If they're not cheering, they're trying to justify it. If they're not trying to justify it, they're trying to dehumanize Kirk. If they're not trying to dehumanize Kirk, they're trying to put some shadow of a doubt on if it's even a bad thing that Kirk died. Like, there are levels to their madness. I'm not saying they're all fucking complete monsters, but they're all sympathizing with monsters. And Nazi sympathizers died just the same as the Nazis did.
Bonte, you missed one strategy, though. You missed your last strategy. If all else fails, sell us a love story.
Or blame Trump. It's Trump's fault that Charlie Kirk died.
Oh, yeah, that's the other one, too. I mean, yeah, there you go. Sell a love story or blame Trump.
Stance, just like I see people out there, Joe Walsh, who I believe I'll be on with on Piers Morgan with later, say the over-the-top reaction. Over-the-top reaction? Over-the-top means that the reaction is not commensurate with the action that necessitates it. What would be required for the kind of reaction you're seeing from the right? Would the family have to be enslaved and gang raped too? Genuinely. If this doesn't warrant the most severe reaction in modern American history.
Hold on. To Lincoln, who keeps fucking spamming the chat. If you can find me one thing that Kirk said and post the full video unclipped that was hateful, mean-spirited, evil, fucking anything, I will give you $1,000. Come in the fucking thing and present it just like I fucking presented that FBI file. Present me something, anything in its full context of something that Kirk said that was dehumanizing, that was anything other than fucking love the sinner, hate the sin. I'll wait.
I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, Monty's a man of his word. If you could find it, but here's the thing, you're gonna find out that you've been going off like 30-second, 45-second clips.
You're going off And the reason I'm doing this is because not that I think that he's going to find anything. I think that he's going to go look for something, find it in its full unedited thing, and realize, oh, maybe that wasn't fucking as bad as I'm framing it out to be.
Now, all right, now shout out Tove, Loki wife. He says, I mean, that is their shtick. Humanize the actual monsters and demonize the sane. Also, someone did do some research. Allegedly, 40K people lost their job for celebrating Charlie's assassination, and thank God.
40K.
Guys, I'm back real quick. Are you guys really saying that all of the left has to take collective punishment?
Yes,
for the fucking assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Yes,
that
that's
we had
what we're
nothing
saying.
to fucking do with, and you never would take the same responsibility for any political violence on the right. Would
Hold on,
never take the
apologizing
same
is collect.
responsibility.
Hold on. Apologizing or just saying, "Look, we're going to tone down the rhetoric." Is a punishment.
Yeah, because you guys aren't going to
being a human is a punishment because they're not humans; they're monsters.
Oh, they are not humans. They. Yeah, like we all fucking did it. This was one guy, as far as we know, that
And
fucking took out Charlie
30,000
Kirk.
to 100,000 people fucking celebrating it, dumbass.
In a
What part
country
that
of 350 million people, you dipshit. Yeah, that's a little tiny bit of people. That's a
Just on
tiny
one
amount
video.
of people.
Hey, bud, just on one video, there's thousands of videos out there doing that with just as many likes.
Oh yeah,
So
and
shut the
bots
fuck
don't
up.
exist. Bots don't exist. They're all real people. They're bots don't exist. Fucking people being edgy don't exist.
Are the
Who gives
fucking
a
faces
fuck?
in the videos bots too? Are the faces in the videos bots too?
Oh yeah, you've been inundated with fucking people that are celebrating to
Thank
make you
Seth.
fucking
Thank you, Seth.
pissed off.
Thank you, Seth.
Oh, thank you, Seth, for what?
I would just like everybody to pay attention to this right here. First off, the graph, the question. Most Americans say it's unacceptable to be happy about a political figure's death, but younger and more liberal Americans are more likely to call it acceptable. And they pretty much polled it. And it does seem like when the more left you go, the more they think it's okay to commit violence against people.
Okay, you said death. People can die of natural causes, and you know what? Charlie Kirk said Joe Biden should be killed. He said Joe Biden should get the death penalty.
Whoa.
In full context. That is advocating for the killing.
In full context. He said if Joe Biden was to get caught, hold on, dog. You got to understand.
He said
Joe Biden was to
thinks
get
Joe
caught for
Biden
treason,
deserved the death penalty.
If he got caught for treason, then yes.
He didn't say
that's what he
if
said.
he got caught for treason. No, do you want to pull it up? Do you want to pull it up?
Yes, what's the full? Yeah, please, because that's definitely out of context. For
Go
sure.
ahead, pull it up. He did not say if he gets caught for treason. He said, I think he deserves the prison or the death penalty.
For no reason. Just no reason?
Because he thinks he committed treason.
Then there you go. It's not for no reason.
But people think
there you
Charlie
go.
Kirk committed treason, and I don't think Charlie Kirk should have died.
What's
I
the
don't
punishment for treason? Death. So
apparently not. Apparently it's pardon. Because
now,
fucking
look,
Trump
even if you
pardoned
don't
people
agree
that
with
fucking
him,
fucking
if you don't agree with him that
Post the
Biden
video.
committed
Shut the
treason.
fuck up. Post the video.
Since he believed that Biden committed treason, he believed that Biden deserved death.
Okay, how do you know that all these people that answered this poll didn't think the guy that sent 80 buses to January 6th didn't also commit treason?
I mean, wouldn't we have to say Nancy Pelosi also committed treason for not bringing in the guard when Trump asked to?
The president brings in the National Guard. We see that now with how he's mobilized them in D.C.
Turn on your mic. I can teach you how. Go to the settings at the bottom of the screen, and then go to audio on the upper left-hand side.
I'll just stop yelling. I'll just stop yelling.
We still need you to turn your mic down. It's just a loud mic.
Turn your shit
All right. I was only going to come in for a minute to yell at you guys because I saw it again. I do got to go. See you guys.
All right. That was hilarious. He did just come and be like, what the f are y'all talking about? But that's what you got to like about Sid sometimes. All right. That was actually pretty damn funny. But I kind of see
Hold on.
I kind of see where he's coming from. Go like Monty, you want to go ahead and finish off? Yeah.
Let me
finish off where Sid left off right there with his comment.
Oh, and I have something too.
That was hilarious.
The Citizen Diplomacy Alliance is a nonprofit group that.
Nope. Before we move on, because these. Hold on, Maine. Give a fucking second. Before we fucking move on, play this fucking video, please, Set.
All right, I got you. Cause let's see here. Let me see.
Relax.
And we got it right here.
I have this perspective that Biden has been a very historically dynamic president, like effective from a certain perspective, right? So his ability to pass the infrastructure bill, the CHIPS Act, and the Inflation Recovery Act within a historically divided Senate with a just one tiebreaker majority. I think that was pretty incredible, actually, from just a pure legislative perspective.
That's not the right video.
Plenty of people might not attribute that specifically to Biden, given the fact that
what? It says not the right one.
That's not the right video. No, it's not. I'm looking. Keep going. That's just a different video of fucking someone kissing up to Biden.
All right, gotcha.
What? Aggravating circumstances. He's going to use illegal terms, but then he's going to say touching when he's talking about a psychotic gay lover boy who believes that his equally insane, mentally ill roommate / boyfriend is a woman, so he can convince himself that he's heteronormative. I don't care. They're all freaks. Surprisingly, this kind of reporting is actually really common. This kind of reaction actually goes back decades.
In his confession, the alleged killer relayed to police where he had buried the body of his mother, and that for the last 15 years, every Mother's Day, he would lay flowers on her shallow grave and read that Sunday's Family Circus from the paper. It was a sweet, warm look into the relationship this young man of 48 had with his beloved late mother, and it's inspired this reporter to visit his own mother after a quick stop at the florist. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you for that.
Touching.
I don't know how funny that was so much as just dark.
Yeah, it's very dark.
Yo.
Played it so straight. Yeah.
I thought it was real.
Yeah.
I know.
I did it in Runt, and I still thought it was real.
What kind of word? What kind of a word for this is putting his life in jeopardy?
Jeopardize.
Yes. Jeopardizing.
I know
his
that
life.
jumped out
I'm
at me.
Wait. You mean murdering him? This isn't like 15 minutes after it happened, and we all weren't really sure exactly what the outcome was going to be, and we all still praying and hoping for the very best. Is that a press conference? What, yesterday?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why can't you just call it like it is?
I want to do an exercise in real time. Get me the transcript of what that guy just said from ABC. Someone bring it out to me while I'm live, and I'll read it to you, and I'll make a point. Yeah. Because that's also what matters. A lot of people, they simply consume the written word. They don't watch video. I'll read it, and you'll get the point. Yes, Nick. Sorry.
I'm just saying they're still playing word games.
Yeah.
It's what happened is so awful, and they know it's somebody from their side that they have to twist reality, play with the language. They can't come out and say it.
Right. Some of them do.
And that goes as a collective for the left.
Yes.
They are caught in this trap that they can't.
Oh, and shout out to my man Castro. He says, "Let people talk, Monty. Calm down, bruh." All right.
Admit.
Yeah.
That
they can't admit that this has been the plan all along. And they can't admit.
Monty gotta let Maine cook sometimes.
That mental instability is useful to them, that people being isolated is useful to them, that people believing that fascism is around every corner is useful to them, and they did it by design. Because here's the thing, you're Italian, you know a little bit about fascism. How do you deal
I know a lot
with a fascist? It's not at the ballot box.
No, it's at the dinner table on Sunday.
Right. The only way you deal with a fascist is violence. It's the only way. So if you believe someone's a fascist, hey, how many times did we hear Donald Trump will never give up the reins of power?
Right. He'll never leave office.
They dehumanize. They've been doing it since I started following politics, like when Reagan was in office.
Oh, yeah.
What's so crazy, though? Somebody was actually saying, show me one politician that's made insensitive comments. And I remember this Omar girl, this lady. I'm trying to. She was on. What she was on. She was doing a interview with Mehdi Hassan.
All right, I just mentioned her right before the break. Democrat Congresswoman Ilhan Omar is facing serious backlash for bashing Charlie Kirk just a day after he was assassinated. Watch.
Yeah, there is nothing more up, than to completely pretend that his words and actions have not been recorded and in existence for the last decade or so. These people are full of shit, and it's important for us to call them out while we feel anger and sadness and have empathy.
There's nothing more blank up, Laura. There's nothing more than that. I mean, this is unbelievable. And there's more. But Omar is now pushing back on any criticism of what she said. Here's a quote. While I disagreed with Charlie Kirk vehemently about his rhetoric, my heart breaks for his wife and children. I don't wish violence on anyone. My faith teaches me the power of peace, empathy, and compassion. Really? Right-wing accounts trying to spin a false story when I condemned his murder multiple times is fitting for their agenda to villainize the left, to hide from the fact that Donald Trump gins up hate on a daily basis. Congress refusing to let her get away with it. Representative Nancy Mace, again, filing that resolution to censure Omar and strip her of all of her committee assignments. Congressman Buddy Carter supports the move. And here's what he told Fox News Digital. No one who justifies the assassination of someone with different political views than them deserves to sit on a committee. And Ilhan Omar openly used language that incites violence toward her political opponents. Committees are for serious lawmakers, not hate-spewing politicians. And now President Trump is backing the resolution as well. Watch.
Ilhan Omar, after his assassination, called Charlie Kirk a reprehensible human being. Should she be stripped of her community assignments?
I would say, I think she's a disgraceful person. I think she's a disgraceful person, a loser.
But all right, now let's go ahead and get into this Piers Morgan interview that got pretty damn heated. I'll tell you that right now. And it was a pretty fun watch. Well, at least to me. Okay. All right, guys, let's get into it.
I've been told all week I'm focusing on the white youth that perhaps he would still be with us today.
Charlie was a friend, a mentor of mine. He sit here today and listen to the discussions. I mean, I am just like in total disbelief.
I've been told all week he would have hated someone like you. No, he would have respected me because I'm my own person and I know how to have my own thoughts.
Oh, I can't even go to the grocery store alone anymore. I can't even walk my dog without a gun.
President Trump is in the UK for an historic second state visit, the world's most famous royal family. This host 989 Riley Gaines, the host of Gaines for Girls on Outkick.com, Jillian Michaels, host of Keeping It Real, Brian Shapiro, host of Pushing the Limits, and Lucas Bain, better known as the amazing Lucas. Okay, well, welcome to all of you. Brian Shapiro, I was sickened by what happened to Charlie Kirk. I think we can probably all agree. I hope we can all agree it was sickening, although I had Destiny on the other night who couldn't bring himself to condemn it because Donald Trump hadn't said the right thing for him, which I think is a lamentable piece of moral cowardice. So let me just start by asking you, I presume you condemn and were horrified by what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Absolutely. I was on the air, Pierce, when it all happened. I got emotional. The first thing I thought about were his kids and his family. This is not only bad for Charlie Kirk, obviously, and bad for his family. It's bad for America. And I also feel for everybody that was traumatized, that was there that day, that had to see that. Now, with that being said, of course.
All right, hold on there. Almost forgot my man Hellbat. All right, first off, we got to finish off Hellbat's video because he sent it in. So, you got to honor the send-ins. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and get into this. The name of the video is, Fire Pan Bondi. Here's the fast facts. And shout out to Legal Mindset. Hey, I seen this guy on Fresh and Fit. I like this guy. I haven't seen his video in like 2 years. Andrew Esquire.
Pam Bondi needs to be fired in order for America to get what it needs done, including the designation of Antifa as a terrorist organization, the prosecution of that, and making sure our rights, specifically our free speech rights, are not taken away as we go into this endeavor of getting rid of violent extremists. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney. This is a legal mindset. We let you be your own judge. And I'm going to, kind of take an even-keeled stance here. I've got something for Pam Bondi, who is obviously part of the administration. She's obviously a Republican. But I've also got a lot for Antifa and all those that think Antifa can't be designated a terrorist organization. I got news for you. They can. And
shoot, we designated the cartel and, smaller Latin American gangs. I'm pretty sure we could find a way to make Antifa a terrorist organization. Trust me.
Is a good way to do that. So we're going to get into that today.
Oh man, and God forbid we can link Antifa to Soros money. Oh yeah, then it's really a wrap for them.
On the legal mindset. So let's get into it. And I want to actually start with a video. And this is Pam Bondi talking about speech and hate speech. And I want to, it's on the Kate Miller podcast. And this is so important because remember, this is our AG. This is our attorney general. This is the person who is going to be behind not only taking these violent groups down and prosecuting them, but also behind drafting the laws that get passed and doing all sorts of other things. And understand, her incompetence, her stupidity will be reflected in law, which is a massive, massive, massive risk. So let's take a watch at what she says here and how this is utterly incoherent.
There's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie in our society.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle.
So this is the most incoherent thing ever, and it's something that harkens to the UK in hate speech, right? Hate speech as it's designated in the United States, and I'll pull up the.
Here's the thing, though. I do understand she was possibly back being emotional and all that good stuff, but it's not a good thing for Attorney General to say that. To be quite honest, like even I'm over here disagreeing with her. Like, yeah, I understand you're emotional, but chill out. Like, no. Trust me, sadly, it's protected. It's protected, Pam Bondi, but guess what they're not protected from? Consequences. They're protected from persecution and going to jail over it, but the consequences, let them get fired. The best thing Pam Bondi could do is be like, yeah, we're just gonna, help the FBI find these guys and get them fired, which I wouldn't agree with, but probably the best thing she can do. Or just sit back and just let the Twitter goons do what they're doing. Finding these guys who make this crazy content, send it to their job and get them fired. All right. Shout out to our man Tove. He was pretty much talking about like 40K people that lost their job over this rhetoric.
Slide here where my good friend Nate, the lawyer,
I need to walk over the First Amendment now.
Where we have speech, we have free speech, right? And by and large, across the board, hate speech is free speech. You are allowed to have hateful ideas and opinions. That is free speech. That is actually allowed, right? There's very, very limited exceptions. And if we want to talk about what's permissible and non-permissible, the real mistake Pam Bondi makes here is she doesn't know the difference between what is allowed and what's not. And what she is confusing is hate speech and hate crimes. She doesn't even know the difference. That's something you should know the difference about. If you're the attorney general, the top person in the United States, but we all know, and it's very clear, she is a pure political appointee. In fact, it may just be Trump likes blondes and wanted a blonde in the office, right? Who knows, right? But she is not the right person if she cannot make this basic legal distinction that even people in law school, a 1L in law school knows this, 1L being a first-year law student, by the way. A 1L knows that these are this is permissible speech. Things like ideas, opinions, debate, dissent, and even hate speech, even hateful things. If you say something like "I hate this person," that's okay. You're allowed to say that. What you're not allowed to do is a hate crime. A hate crime is an idea coupled with an act, right? There's a criminal act. So you're going out and doing something criminal, and you're doing it with a hateful idea, behind that, right? So those are coupled together. But just speech alone is not enough. And once again, Bondi doesn't understand this concept. What she should be focusing on, and which any incompetent AG out there, any competent, any knowledgeable AG would focus on what's important here, the 4 areas of impermissible speech. And if you hear me talking about this, I am always talking about one of these 4 areas. These 4 areas are the areas that right now we need to go after. Law enforcement, the president, everybody, businesses, we all need to target these 4 areas. This is what we need to focus fire on, because in the legal realm, we are in the clear in nuking these areas. And if we clear these out, America becomes so much better. We don't have to go into taking our rights away. We don't have to expand the law. Just focus on what the law already makes illegal. Let's look at that. Incitement, so speech that directly incites imminent lawless action or criminal activity. This is a lot of the speech online. We talk about Hassan's speech, other speech online that's hateful, directed towards violence. That's incitement, right? You're saying, hey, go out there and delete these people, go out there and hurt these people. That's incitement, right? Then you've got harassment, creating a hostile environment. Well, if people are creating a hostile environment where, people perhaps of a certain gender or race, perhaps white men, don't feel comfortable, that can be harassment, right? So we can go focus on that. We can also focus on defamation. Defamation is not legal, and we can even add and strengthen the penalties on defamation. That's perfectly fine as well. We can do that. And also we can tackle true threats. And true threats is an actual threat of violence, saying, I'm going to go hurt this person, right? So all of these are okay. And trust and believe that if we actually take action on a lot of this stuff, which we've been sleeping on, especially with the radical left has gotten a pass on this for a long time. I know a lot of people say, oh, it's both sides. And fair enough. If somebody on the right does this, they should be prosecuted as well. Don't get me wrong, but the radical left has gotten a pass on a lot of these categories on defamation, harassment, incitement, and true threats. And if you just crack down on these, that is more than enough. That is plenty sufficient to sweep up a lot of people. And in fact, if you do what Bondi says, you're actually doing a hard left move, because you're actually, by adopting hate speech laws, going to the far left, going to a sort of the UK Orwellian, this is the approved speech, this is the not approved speech. We don't want to go there. That's not a place America wants to go. So, and by the way, going down the road that Bondi wants us to go down, that can end up getting overturned in the Supreme Court. And the last thing we want to do is get this stuff reversed, right? That's the last thing that we would want to do, because it would really end up setting the whole movement back. The other thing is there's something coming up called the Smith-Mundt Act. And this is something that's got a lot of traction, right? So this is the Media Accountability Act. And it's not formally drafted yet. People are just talking about drafting it. They're talking about naming it the Charlie Kirk Act, although I believe Charlie Kirk might be appalled by the way it's actually executed. And this would impose fines of up to 35% of the company value on media. And many people say it's a precursor to a social credit score system, right? Or essentially a company credit score, a company score. And what they're going to target is things like bigot, racist, fascist, and perhaps stuff like Nazi and white supremacist. Now, I don't have as much of a problem with something like Nazi or white supremacist, so long as you create an objective definition saying, okay, well, it is per se defamation to call somebody a Nazi unless they are either a formal member of the National Socialist Party of Germany between the era of 1920s roundabout to 1945, right? So if they're a formal member, you can call them a Nazi. Or if they self-declare as a Nazi, that's okay. That's fine. But otherwise, if you call somebody a Nazi, that is per se defamation and they have damages. Okay, that might be reasonable, right? Because that would hurt someone's reputation. You can't just going around calling people a Nazi. It's way overused on the internet. It's way overused everywhere in media, and it needs to stop. Same thing with white supremacists. If you are openly a white supremacist, you declare yourself as one, or you're a member of a group which publicly, as its platform, espouses white supremacy, then sure. Then you can call somebody that. But otherwise, defamation, right? Now, something like bigot, racist, fascist, those are a little bit harder, right? So maybe you could say, okay, if you're part of something that openly espouses those views, maybe. But otherwise, it's very difficult to say.
I mean, they could just say you're part of the conservative party. They could just say you're a Republican. There you go.
But there's a big distinction. If anybody's looking at skin color, they're a lefty.
Good point.
Say that, right? So how they do that, how they define that, it's going to be a little bit more tricky, right? Something with an objective criteria like white supremacy or Nazi, that might be a little more clear than bigot, right? Because bigot, what people can view as quote unquote bigoted or racist, varies widely. So what one person calls racist is another person saying, okay, that's just somebody making a joke, or that's harmless, etc. That's humor, right? So that's going to be a little bit more difficult. So I'm my kind of problem here is I don't want Pam Bondi drafting this. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. She's going to screw this up entirely. This requires so much legal nuance that I have zero faith that this woman can do this, or the team even under her, because she's going to be directing it down a bad path, and they're just going to follow her like blind gnomes to, or lemmings right over the cliff, right? And I know there's some debate whether lemmings actually go over cliffs, but it's a metaphor, okay? So I now want to shift gears with this, and actually it still goes with Pam Bondi, because once again, Pam is going to need to execute this, and I have zero faith. But there's this declaration of Antifa as a terrorist group. So the other day, I actually prepared this whole slide deck and everything before, but I ended up redoing it. Trump said he would 100% label Antifa a terrorist group, and it turns out he went and made a tweet. Now everybody is going out here and saying this is an official declaration. It's official declaration. It isn't, guys. This is not an executive order. There has not been an executive order that I've seen yet. I need to see the language. So this is just him tweeting. Now, let's talk about how you would do it right. Once again, I don't think Pam Bondi understands this. I think Pam Bondi has no idea how to do this. So let me explain it. And maybe somebody can pass this to her team, or, the person that succeeds her, if she's hopefully fired, and get this done the right way. First of all, Trump can unilaterally direct law enforcement to prosecute. So Trump can unilaterally say, okay, FBI, go after Antifa. That's fine. They can do, that's just a directive. That's giving them, the executive is saying, hey, it is your priority to prosecute Antifa. They do that tomorrow. They can bring RICO charges against Antifa. That's completely possible. So that the president can do unilaterally. Now,
all right, guys, we went a bit over time. Well, damn, 25 minutes over time for me. But all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close it out on this one, guys. Make sure you guys double tap that screen and like the video. And let's remember, if you're not already subscribed to here, just go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell so you get the notification for next time I go live. All right, guys, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. This is Set with Set Media, and shout out to Monty and Maine for coming up. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Later, everybody.
Shout out, guys. Today, modern AI is quite advanced, except two problems. It is censored and it takes your information. Well, it's hard to find a tech company that don't, but let me introduce you to one. Shout out to my sponsor, Vance AI, which allows you to protect your information and avoid censorship. Now ask yourself, why should a team of programmers at these leading AI apps be the ones to decide what is okay for you to ask and think? Also, would you be comfortable if the presidential administration could govern what AI tells you? Man, I know I wouldn't. But also, while you think about that, did you know that? Let me tell you this, it's gonna be crazy, but ChatGPT has a former director of the NSA sitting on their board right now, guys. And shout out to that man, Edward Snowden. He called this a willful, calculated betrayal of the rights of every person on Earth. And we all know how Alexa is. Alexa listens to us and recommends products based on our conversations. I mean, talk about a violation of privacy. But guys, these are just a few reasons I decided to team up with Vance AI and get you a better options or solutions to your AI needs. Now, guys, you can go ahead and check these guys out with my promo code. So shout out to Vance AI. Now, if you want to use AI without fear of handing over your most intimate thoughts to a corporation or government, you can get 20% off a pro plan using my link, Vance AI SET, and use the code SET. Man, so shout out, guys. So make sure you guys use the code. Put it up one more time for you guys right there. Once again, guys, you guys want to go ahead and have unleashed AI, uncensored AI, go ahead and tap in with my guys at Vance AI, guys. Hey, this is Set, and appreciate the support. And shout out to the sponsor.